I don't know why they ended my last stream. I don't know. I didn't end it. That was. I don't. Oh Lord, can you hear me? Hello. Why is it not? Hello. Hello. Why can't they? Hello. I don't see the mic moving. Oh Lord, can you? Hello. Can you hear me? The mic isn't moving, so I'm afraid you probably can't. Can you hear me? Why did they take my stream down? They can't hear me. Hello. See if. Oh. Okay, they can. It's moving now. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why they took my stream down. That's bullshit. But whatever.
All right, let's do a quick sound check here. Microphone check.
Oh, my head still hurt.
All right.
Oh.
Richard, are you there? Hold on. Richard, you there?
Richard, you there? Yeah, I'm here, Patrick.
Oh, let me know when you're on.
Can you hear me, Patrick?
Yes, I can hear you just fine. Let me.
Okay, cool.
Off of there.
I just paused.
Welcome back, Richard.
Thank you, Patrick. I'm sorry I couldn't make it last night. I just I'm a little overwhelmed at the number of people that have watched our video, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's a lot of people concerned about what's going on with Nancy and what might have happened to her, and that's kind of why we're here, right?
Well, definitely. I'd like to get to the truth of the matter, and I'd definitely like to see her brought home. But I have a real feeling that that's something that might not ever happen. To be honest with you, Patrick.
Right. I might agree with you. So, how did we meet? You were leaving some comments on social media, trying to get a hold of somebody from the FBI. Nobody would listen to you, and you recognized the porch guy. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, it all started with me recognizing. Well, I've been working on the ciphers for the last 4 years, and on the Burger Chef in particular since well, probably May of last year. But I've spent between 12,000 and 15,000 hours working on other zodiac ciphers, and the one that I spent the most time on was the Scorpion cipher. So basically, one led into another, and I almost did not even bother with the Burger Chef cipher because you probably saw the little cartoon online. It looks like a child's puzzle, and it just looks like an innocent little thing to begin with. Hey, there's me. I'm looking at a picture of me on your presentation here, Patrick.
Yeah, let me.
Can you hear me?
Let me enlarge it.
Oh, I'd rather not. But go ahead. That's not me anymore. I don't have any dark hair on my face anymore. It's all white, unfortunately. But
here, I think I'm sharing the wrong screen. Hold on. Here,
that was when I was a big shot.
Yeah, that
real
was
estate.
sent to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, is that what he looks like? You sound younger though.
Well, thank you. I chalked that up to.
You don't.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry, Patrick. No, I don't smoke, and I
No worries.
I don't even drink anymore. So, but to be honest with you, I don't know if you've ever spoken to people like, for me, I've seen a lot of, I've almost seen my mirror self in a lot of women that I've been interested in. And in the end, it almost always, have you ever met girls that are in their 30s or even older that talk like a little,
No,
they have
because I'm
a
gay and
sort
a
of,
faggot. This is what the fuck? My brain's about to fucking explode. Get to the part where I clicked the video. This guy is claiming that his brother is the porch guy, and this is bullshit. Fucking hate YouTube. Fucking hate being a gay black fag. I just want a boyfriend. I just want this motherfucker in this AI picture. All I want is him. But I'm just doodle on the street. He doesn't want me. I'm just dumb. Because all I look at nail polish videos. All I look at. Yeah, I'm just a dumb faggot. All I look at is beauty tutorials. All the fuck I look at. I don't know what the fuck ciphers and all this type of shit. Like scorpions up their ass. And I don't know what the fuck are they talking about. God. Let me don't recommend that shit because I need to block that channel too. That he did do another previous Nancy video and I liked it, but then again I was playing Temple Run, so I wasn't really paying attention. So I mean, girl. This is this judge. I don't like him, but at least he doesn't bullshit. I don't like this motherfucker, but he's no bullshit content, so.
What if I told you that the person responsible for this crime may have already identified themselves?
They did. I think it's Luke.
Not through a witness and not through a camera, but through something that they couldn't control. Something microscopic, something invisible, and something that they may not even realize that they left behind. Today, we're going to talk about that one piece of evidence that could break this entire case wide open. Saliva DNA. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you all for being here. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Now, if you're new here, this channel it's built on real world law enforcement experience, breaking down cases the way that investigators actually think, not the way social media spins it. And today, we're going to take this case to a level that most people haven't even considered yet. Now, here's the problem with this case. Everyone is focused on what they can see. You know, the video, the suspect, the movement, and the timeline. But the real cases, the ones that actually get solved, they're built on what you can't see, the DNA, and more specifically, saliva DNA. Now, let me explain something that most people, they don't understand. DNA doesn't just come from blood. DNA, it comes from a variety of things such as your skin cells, sweat, hair, and yes, saliva. These things, they're uncontrollable. We can't control how we lose all of these items from our bodies. And saliva is one of the easiest ways that a suspect can leave themselves behind and not even realize it, because it's something that we don't even think about. Even when they think that they didn't, they still leave things behind that they have no control over. So let's take a look at this very carefully, because this is where things start to get real. You don't have to spit to leave saliva DNA. All it takes is licking your lips, breathing heavily, talking, touching your mouth, or holding something in your mouth. You know, when we talk, particles are coming out of our mouth and we cannot control that. And there's a part that should make everyone pause here, because the suspect in this case, he had this flashlight in his mouth. It's called the bite light. That one detail, it really changes everything about this case. Because when you place an object in your mouth, you're transferring saliva directly onto that object. And when you remove that object, you can leave behind droplets, residue, microscopic DNA particles. Now, this stuff can sit on floors, doorways, handles, light switches, or anything nearby in the area where this suspect is stationary inside, wherever. Now, there's a moment in this case that didn't get enough attention, and it should have. The second that we saw that flashlight in the suspect's mouth, that should have triggered something in the very early stages of this investigation, and every investigator watching should have picked up on this. Because now we're not just looking at movement, we're looking at a biological transfer. That suspect may have adjusted the flashlight in his mouth. He may have dropped it and had to pick it up. At some point he removed it, and he probably had to reposition it. Every one of those actions, it's a potential DNA drop point. And here's the reality. DNA, it's not visible to the naked eye. You don't just see it. You have to know where to look to find it. And this is where experience matters. A crime scene
what about piss? That's DNA. You can see that. What about shit? That's DNA. You can see that. What the fuck? The fuck is he talking about? Blood, DNA. I mean,
just processed. It's red.
Sperm, DNA. You can see that.
You have to read a crime scene. Investigators, they don't just walk through a home randomly, swabbing things. They have to reconstruct behavior, and they have to ask these questions. Where did the suspect pause at? Where did they hesitate? Where did they interact with objects inside the house? Where were they stationary long enough to leave something behind? Now, if that suspect had something in their mouth, you better believe that experienced investigators are thinking to themselves now, where would saliva have built up at? Where would it have dropped? Where would it have transferred? Because that's where your case actually lives, especially in a case like this where you don't have a lot of physical evidence here. They're depending now on the DNA evidence, and this is why it matters in a case like this. Now, here's where this case really gets complicated. We're not talking about clean DNA. We're talking about mixed DNA samples. We've been hearing a lot about this in the news and on these channels. Mixed DNA that could be coming from multiple people. And this means that there were multiple contributors to this, overlapping profiles, contamination possibilities. And that's where cases either get solved or they just fall apart. Because now the question becomes, who does the DNA belong to? Is it family, workers, or visitors, or is it the suspect? That's why investigators, they rely on something called elimination DNA. This is critical. Investigators, they must collect DNA from family members. They have to collect DNA from anyone that had access to this home. The workers, the landscapers, contractors in and out around this home. Why? I mean, you need to remove them from the equation. Only then does the unknown DNA start to stand out. But if that wasn't done early, now you've got a real big problem, because every additional person, it all adds noise to the data now. And noise creates doubt. And doubt, unfortunately, kills cases in court. Let's talk about something that most people ignore: the chain of custody. Very important in a criminal case, because this isn't just about finding DNA. It's about proving where it came from, when it was left, and that it wasn't contaminated. Now, if the scene was released too early, like we heard in this case, and investigators, they have to go back later, guess what? Defense attorneys, they're going to have a field day with this case. If and when it does ever go to court, they're going to have a field day here. They will argue contamination and mishandling, unreliable evidence. And suddenly your strongest evidence becomes the weakest point. Now, let me challenge that thinking here, because this is where technology changes everything. Saliva DNA, it can last hours in harsh conditions. It can last days in normal conditions, normal environments. And it can last years in protected spaces. So even if time has passed, that doesn't mean that the evidence is gone. It just means that you have to know where to look now. Some investigators, they might call this a long shot. A needle in a haystack. But I've seen cases where the smallest piece of evidence, it can change everything. Just a single drop, a single touch, a single mistake. And that's what this suspect may have made, because here's the truth. Criminals, they don't think about saliva. Who does? None of us really think about saliva in our daily routines. Criminals, they think about their fingerprints. They think about cameras that they have to avoid. They think about, I need to wear gloves. But they forget that they're human, and humans leave DNA. Everywhere we go, our DNA is dropped everywhere. Now, here's where things get real serious. Today's technology, it can take microscopic samples. It can amplify them using PCR and separate mixed DNA profiles. It can even trace them through family lines. I mean, we're not in the 1990s anymore. We're in a world where a single cell, just one single cell, can identify a suspect. And with genetic genealogy, you don't have to have a direct match. You just need a relative. This is how cases sat cold for decades, and suddenly they get solved. Investigators, they extract DNA, they upload it to the genealogical databases, they build family trees, and they narrow suspects, and eventually they land on one person. This method has solved serial killer cases, decades old homicides, and crimes that was once thought unsolvable. So if saliva DNA exists in this case, it's not just evidence. It's a roadmap. Now, here's the question that matters. Did investigators collect the right samples the first time? Because if they didn't, now we're relying on going back. And going back introduces risk. But not going back What happens if we don't go back? That means that the one piece of evidence that solves everything may be lost. You know, that's the balance here. That's the pressure. And it's the reality of this case. And if I'm working this case myself, here's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back and I'm going to reconstruct every movement of the suspect. I'm going to identify every pause point, mapping every possible saliva transfer location, re-swabbing high probability areas, and running advanced DNA separation, and cross-referencing genealogy databases, because I'm not wanting to wait here. I want to break in this case, and I'm going to create one if I'm the investigator in this case. Unfortunately, I'm not. Now, listen, at the end of the day, all of this, all of the science, all of the analysis, and all of the strategy, you know, there's still a woman out there, a mother and a grandmother who was taken. She was taken in the dark of the night and still hasn't been brought home yet. And if the person responsible thinks that they got away with this clean, let me tell you something. They need to understand something. You don't beat DNA. Short term, maybe. But long term, you don't beat DNA. You delay it. You don't outrun it. You hope that it doesn't catch up with you. But listen to me, eventually it will. So today, as we head into the next phase of this case, I want to remember this. The truth may already exist, sitting quietly on a surface in a place where no one thought to look, just waiting for the right set of eyes and the right moment to be discovered. And when it is, everything's going to change here. Now, let's keep Nancy's name in the forefront. Let's keep the pressure on this case. Let's keep it on. And let's not forget that someone out there knows exactly what happened, and I want to know who that person is. Don't you? And listen, if you're following this case, make sure that you're subscribed. Subscribe to my channel, because, hey, we're not letting this story fade. Not going to. We're going to keep digging, keep analyzing, and keep pushing this case forward until answers come. And listen, until Nancy Guthrie is found. I'll see
I'm glad you mentioned the academic aspect, because the truth of the matter is that when I am asked to consult on something, one of the first things that I think is important to do is to think about statistics and likelihoods, because at the end of the day, we have to be scientists. And everyone who knows me more than a minute knows that I am a data fiend. I keep everything in databases. When I wake up in the morning, when I go on my phone and I see there's been a homicide, the link to that article on the web is going in an Excel row in one of my databases, and all of the information that on that case that is publicly available and later available in legal documents is going in there, because I want to be able to run statistics on likelihoods of anything you ask me about. Okay. And that ultimately is exactly what we did with the mass murder database at Columbia, right? Okay. So the first thing that I would be thinking about, because I think the point of this conversation is how do you think about a case, right? The first thing I would be thinking about is this. Let's say we have to first think, is this a homicide or is this an abduction, right? Or is this something else like a robbery that went haywire? And the reason it's important is because there are different probabilities in each bucket. Okay, so if we're talking about a homicide, 60% of people that are killed know the person who killed them in some personal way. All right, so you're already leaning in the direction of it's more probable that it's not a stranger who killed you. That's important. If you are female, there's about a 92% chance that you personally knew the person who killed you. Okay, that's extremely important. So about 92% of women, it is estimated, who are killed by their boyfriend, their husband, or a former romantic partner, or a family member, right? 8 out of 10 sexual assaults are committed by somebody who knew you. That's extremely important. Then you say, okay, well, let's start with the sexual motivation.
I have said time and time again that journalism is a career path, or what do we want to call it, a skill, I don't even know the word for it, but it is a career path that does not require you to go to some fancy school. You don't need to go to Columbia. You don't need to go to wherever to get your journalism degree or your communications degree. You just need to be somebody who journals the goings on, the happenings of wherever it is that you live. Or, you might do it on a community level, national level, world level. It doesn't really matter. But and I've defended that position because that is my story, right? I work as a reporter for a local news agency. I did not go to journalism school. I was trained on the job, kind of the way journalists of old were, right? You get a job, you work in the newsroom, you work your way up, that sort of thing. But I am very much second guessing that entire position now because we have got, we've got so-called, my goodness, my hair is doing something here. Hold on. Let's do that. There we go. We have got so-called citizen journalists in the Nancy Guthrie case that have inserted themselves into the discussion. Right? They no longer are reporting the news, they are making the news, and that is a really, really bad idea. And so while we're going to frame this around the Nancy Guthrie case, this conversation, we're going to be talking about responsible human behavior. I feel like I'm a little hot here. I'm going to pull back the microphone. Responsible citizen journalism, responsible journalism. And we're going to call out some folks that have been behaving badly. We're going to try to learn for ourselves how not to behave, because we don't want to be these guys. And along the way, we're going to learn what's going on with the case, what's going on around the case, like Sheriff Nanos. What else have I got? Oh my goodness, get my list up. What else have we got? In True Crime Headlines, we're going to be looking at Sheriff Nanos. We're going to be looking at the Long Island serial killer case. Some strange news there. A little news out of the Anna Kepner case, which we went into in depth yesterday. And we've got some good news along with 3 questions. So we got a lot to cover. We got a 15-gallon show that we need to fit into a 5-gallon bucket. It's going to be a long one. It's going to be a good one. I hope you'll stick with me. This video contains mature themes and discussions intended only for adult audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello, my friend. Welcome back to another true crime conversation with me, Gavin Fish. I am so glad that you would check in with me, that you would spend some time with me to hang out here on YouTube or on Spotify or on your podcast, wherever it is that you are. I'm glad that you've joined us. Thank you for doing that. Please tell us in the live stream where you are joining us from. I love that part. I love to know where you guys are. I love to see the regulars. I love to see the newbies. I love to see people who are near and far. So definitely check in there. I am, for you YouTube live stream viewers, I'm going to stick in a goal for super chats. I'm super grateful. Maybe use a different modifier there, Gavin. I'm uber grateful. I'm very grateful. I'm gratefulissimo for the generosity of so many of you who watch the channel, who share my videos, who subscribe and like, who give of your hard-earned treasure to either be a member or a patron over on Patreon, or who offer me super chats and super stickers. You guys are awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you for doing that. It makes it so that the work that I do in putting together this program for you pays off so I can keep doing it. So thank you. I really appreciate it. All right, let's do a quick little recap-a-rooney, if we can, of this case. This is the Nancy Guthrie case. Nancy Guthrie, 84 years old. She is taken in the middle of the night out of her sanctuary, her home, where she has lived for decades, where she has raised her family, where she has memories, where she lived when she lost her husband. This is her sanctuary, her place. And criminals, horrible people, in the middle of the night, I think people, we know at least one person, went in there, injured her, and took her out, and she has never been heard from, seen again. It is most likely that her days here in this mortal coil have come to an end because of the nefarious and evil actions of these people, at least one of whom was caught on video wearing a mask, wearing gloves, armed. It's a disgusting, horrifying, and infuriating case that has the nation and the world captivated. And for good reason, right? This could be our mother. This could be our grandmother. It is somebody's mother and grandmother. She is. She is their loved one. They're the center of their world. And she was taken, and it is just beyond the pale that this kind of crime happens. I hate crimes against the elderly and children. I'm worked up. I'm worked up. We just got started. There I am spilling water on my keyboard. I'm so worked up. Wanda, can you bring me off the edge? Maybe Wanda can give me just a little, some music to... Okay. Wanda's my music director, everybody. Thank you, Wanda. That helps a lot. Wanda's my music director. She sometimes is the person who takes me off the ledge. Why is my... There we go. Okay. Where was I? Oh, I was angry, but it's okay. There's something else to be angry about, okay? Here on the channel, over the last couple of weeks, there have been a couple of stories that are alrededor, right? They surround the story. They are not the story. They shouldn't be the story, but they surround the story, so we have to talk about it. One of those has been the whole JLR saga. Right. This is a guy who is a YouTuber, a successful YouTuber, has a big channel with over 500,000 subscribers. Many of his followers are just, how would I describe them tastefully and I guess without besmirching them? I wanted to use the word rabid. They're ardent. They're ardent followers, and they will go to great lengths to not only support him, but intimidate those who I don't know, don't support him, right? And that became a story that kind of surrounded the Nancy Guthrie case because he has been on the ground, quote unquote, investigating. I would call it more like activism more than investigation. That's just my take. I mean, you might disagree. But he now is, I think he's still there. Last time I checked, I haven't checked in the last couple of days. I think he's still there. Mm-hmm. And there was an article that I brought you yesterday in Headlines that doesn't name him specifically, and it may not be about him. It may be about any number of other people, but I'm suspicious that it is about him, and I want to start there. But I don't know that it's about him. I'm just suspicious. Okay? So for those of you who were on last night, you have seen this article, but I thought that I would bring it again to frame this, because again, we are talking about my profession, something that I came to later on in life, but have grown to love, and I kind of feel protective of it, like a big brother with his kid sister, right? Like I can pick on my profession, but you may not. That's kind of how I feel about it. This written by Marissa Orr. Here is the article, day 72 of Nancy Guthrie case. This came out 2 days ago. We are now at day 74. Neighborhood patrols increase after YouTuber harassing complaints. Again, Marissa Orr for KVOA. And we don't need to read the whole thing, but this will set our stage, okay? Dateline is Tucson, Arizona. It has been 72 days since the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. As the search continues for the 84-year-old, there is an update regarding an increase in patrols due to YouTuber harassing complaints. Now, that is a weirdly phrased sentence. It should, at least as I understand it, I mean, it's grammatically correct, but I would write it as due to an increase, or regarding an increase in patrols due to complaints of harassment by a YouTuber or YouTubers. I think that's what Marissa meant in her reporting. And like I said, she wrote it correctly. I kind of stumbled on it. News 4 Tucson, this is KVOA, learned that the Pima County Sheriff's Department attended a recent homeowners association meeting for Guthrie's Catalina Foothills neighborhood. At that meeting, some of the neighbors complained about a YouTuber. Okay, so it's a single YouTuber harassing residents in the area. PCSD confirmed that they have also received similar complaints from Guthrie's daughter, Annie. I think they're... Marissa, I'm sorry. I'm picking apart. There should be a comma there and there, but that's okay. That's okay. We're fine. So, complaints from Guthrie's daughter, Annie, in relation to her neighborhood. Mooney, you were a school teacher, right? Am I right on this? There should be commas. But you know what? I over-comma things. It's fine. The department has increased patrols in both areas due to those complaints. And then blah, 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 blah. I think that's pretty much, then it goes into the story. Okay. So there are complaints by neighbors in the neighborhood of Nancy Guthrie and in the nearby neighborhood of Annie that there is a YouTuber that is harassing them. Consequently, the Pima County Sheriff's Department have increased their patrols. Now, I have done my fair share of clashing, friendly clashing with police while I'm carrying out the duties of my job. One of the, and here I am putting myself in the story again, but it's an anecdote. One of the things that we will do as reporters is we will be doing something that is constitutionally protected, that is not only protected but important that we do. And police won't like what we're doing, and so they will try to intimidate you out of doing the thing. Sometimes they don't like it because what you're doing might be distasteful, and sometimes it is. It requires a journalist there, though, in order to create the record, right? So I've had my fair share of those kinds of incidents. Like I can think of one right now that was in a city here in Western Pennsylvania where there was a shooting, and it was in the middle of the night. It was like 10 o'clock at night. I go out to do photojournalism, to get photography of it. Another journalist will be writing the story because breaking news. I'm out there getting photography of it. I'm outside of the taped off, cordoned off area, and I have a long lens and a good camera, and I'm taking pictures at night. Now, the police found this distasteful because what I didn't know is that the victim was a victim of himself. Nevertheless, I was assigned, and it was something that was important, and so I was taking pictures, and an entire police department without their captain tried to intimidate me out of there, threatened me with arrest, the whole thing. I ended up calling 911 and going, these police officers are threatening me with arrest. I'm outside of their crime scene, and I got a call back from the chief. They got radio calls and everything. It was like, so this kind of thing happens, right? But if you are just out, like, if you're doing something that's not a protected activity, if you're out there harassing people, yeah, the police will come and they will arrest you. They can, they should. And that is that sets the stage for the conversation that we're going to have today. But before I continue, I want to check in with you guys in the live chat. I think I saw a super chat come in as I was doing my my diatribe. Let's see, Lady Saga, thank you very much for super chat. I deeply appreciate it. Thank you. We're on our way to our goal. I appreciate you. Thanks.
So I'm gonna lose my streak because my Wi-Fi went out. Fuck y'all. Wow. This dumbass game. Fucking faggots that run this fucking game. Fuck this. Why not giving them? I don't give them any money for this fucking game. That's so fucking bullshit. They keep every 5 seconds the Google Play ad. $5 for more credits, $20. No, I'll give y'all shit. Because I made it past that level, but the Wi-Fi went out as soon as I passed it. Oh, something went wrong. We're gonna refund that ticket, but are you gonna refund my streak? No, you're not. So fucking stupid. God.
Okay, where are you guys checking in from? Mooney is digging the stripes. Do you like this? I have decided that I want to wear natural fibers from now on. So I am trying out linen for the first time in my life, and I gotta say, it's a comfortable shirt. It breathes well, and thank you. I like the stripes myself. Thank you. Hillbilly says, you do a good job, Gavin. Well, thank you very much. Bama Beth is in the house. Good to see you. Um, let's see. Prague, Tracy Burns is in the house. Prague is in the house. Thank you very much. Um, love Prague. Jenny says, the difference from your face now compared to when you recorded your intro is amazing. Way to go. Thank you. Yeah, I probably need to re-record the intro and outro. I'll keep the music though. Don't worry, guys. Salisbury, Tennessee is here. Sharky Sharona is melting again in Lake Tahoe. Omaha, Nebraska is here. The nickel capital of Canada. Happy Valley, Phoenix, Arizona. Guam is here. Jacksonville, Florida. I'm sorry, Northern Kentucky, Jacksonville, Florida. Portland, Oregon. Vancouver, Missouri, Eastern Kentucky, Toledo, Ohio. We got any fellow Welshies or Brits. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I appreciate you subscribers too. Thank you very much. Viewing from Santa Claus land, hint, not the North Pole. Sinterklaas. You're going to have to give me more. I'm not sure. Not sure. Seattle, Jersey Shore is here. I live where James Beard was born and lived before New York. All right. Alaska is here. Hillbilly, thank you. Prayers for Nancy and her family. Fife, Scotland. We've got, okay, watching from the city where Keanu Reeves grew up. Was it Toronto? I don't know. For some reason, he strikes me as a Toronto guy. He's so chill and polite. Hello from where Alabama, Georgia, and Florida meet. All right. Since you know where I live already, how about a new clue for a nearby city? This city is south of me and is mentioned in Carly Simon's song, You're So Vain. Saratoga, I believe, would be the name of that city. That's a good one. All right. British Columbia in the house. Thank you very much.
Oh, my head still fucking hurt. Oh, fuck this game so much for pulling that shit. I know y'all doodoo faggots hate when I pull up Discord, but fuck you. Go doodle on yourself. Sam, eat shit. Fuck you. I don't feel like closing the window down. Discord notification. I'm trying to see what the fuck. Could be nothing, but I don't know. Okay, it's nothing. Okay.
fade away, but apparently that ain't what's happening. Okay, Tiffany says she got her cheap seat on the Dolly Blessed Express tonight. Of course, tonight we're going to be talking about Nancy Guthrie, what she found. There was a lot of rumors today. Savannah was supposed to do an interview with Anne Hathaway, and like she did the promo to it, this, you know, the lead-in segment, and then they go to commercial, and then when they come back, another correspondent does the interview, and it made the internet go crazy. Instantly, people thought something was up, and a lot of people were rumoring that Nancy must have been found. But before, and that the ransom letter, not the one that came from the person that had Nancy, but the one that said that they would tell for Bitcoin, it's being rumored that that ransom was paid. Okay, but before we get into all that, I'm going to need you guys to leave your DNA all over the like button, just in case somebody kidnaps you and they want a half a Bitcoin to give up information. Dolly will get you. I'll buy half a Bitcoin and we'll find out where you're at. But I'm going to need you to leave your DNA all over the damn like button. And if you're brand new, of course, sub up the channel, ring the bell for notifications, and feel free to share my ugly face anywhere, as long as it's not farmersonly.com. Okay, you can't share it there. You cannot share it there. Now, tonight, you know, there's been other high-ranking people in the FBI that are profilers that believe, just like we do, that this is an inside job. Now, they didn't say tomato head, tomato paste did it, but they're saying whoever did this knew who Nancy was. Okay? Kind of crazy, but let me give my warnings. Dolly's for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, theories, mixed with a little bit of comedy and a whole lot of chaos. So don't take nothing here as fact. It's just my opinion, people. Completely satire. The callers tonight on my panel guests, their opinions are theirs and theirs alone, not to reflect on Dolly. Don't get me sued. Everyone, and I mean everyone, is innocent to proven guilty, even tomato paste. And the biggest one of them all, but now each and every one of you out there on YouTube should know this. Do not, and I repeat, do not try to be Dolly at home. It is dangerous. Your head could explode. Okay, so, you know, Savannah Guthrie, like I was saying on the Today Show, she was supposed to do an interview with Anne Hathaway about her movie Mother Mary. And they cut to a commercial after they do the opening segment. And then when they come back, someone else is interviewing Anne Hathaway. I forget the other correspondent's name. I'm not a really big fan of Today Show. But then that sent all these Facebook groups, because, you know, I join a lot of these Facebook groups to keep up with the rumors, right? What's going on in the rumor mill? So I join these groups just to keep up with the rumors. And instantly people were thinking they must have found Nancy, okay? They must have found Nancy, because why did Savannah all of a sudden stop broadcasting on the show? Now, of course, as soon as we started hearing these things, we started looking for things that would have to deal with, you know, Nancy. If they found Nancy, of course, they would be having a press conference. So we click on something, and next thing we know, there's, you know, you can't really believe what you see 100% on the internet, because right now there's a person out here that's crazy as two squirrels fighting over one nut, right? That is on the internet as we're speaking, giving an interview, and this is supposed to be the porch guy's brother, okay? He said his family was reptilians. Reptilians is what the man said, okay? I was trying to follow along and listen to him talk about his sad-ass life.
30 seconds.
And I was thinking, what does this have to do with Nancy? And then he started talking about how he had empathy and his family don't, because they're reptilians. And then I knew right there, I was like, man, every nut job in the world has come out in the Nancy case, okay? I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Now, if your brother was the killer of Nancy Guthrie, would you be up on the internet saying my brother did it, or would you be collecting that $1.2 million? You know, I guarantee you called the FBI, right? What's his name is Richard. I bet you Richard has called the FBI and told him that his brother's a reptilian and he's kidnapped Nancy from the planet Reptilion, and he was trying to take her into Mexico and she died along the way. Okay? What the hell, right? What the hell are people smoking out here in the YouTube verse? Now, of course, sometimes crazy stuff like this makes really good entertainment, right? Now, I want to show you some of the stuff that goes into, we'll get more into what did they find Nancy, but the facts are no, not that we know of have they found Nancy. But then we, you know, because you never know who's reputable and who's fake and what's AI anymore. And soon as we find out, hey, people are rumoring they found Nancy, we see a post that says, major update coming from Pima County at 9:30 tonight. So we're like, holy shit. What would make, they haven't said nothing in months. Why would they say something now? So we were sitting at dinner thinking, did they find Nancy? So, of course, we go digging even deeper and we see that Nerdy Attic had called down to Pima County to see if there was a press conference that was actually taking place at 9:30 or the following morning. And apparently Pima County told him no. So I was thinking, okay, so well, people are posting just about anything. Like, you know, if your brother did this, you would be on the phone with the FBI and the police would be all over his brother. His brother would be in jail. They would have the SWAT team out there that they'd be moving in. When people come to the internet with their craziness, it is pretty mind blowing. And so many people, there's so much clickbait out there. I seen a thumbnail that had police gather around a dead body of Nancy Guthrie today. Okay. And I'm thinking to myself, Rebecca has been a member for 10 months. Thank you, Rebecca. That is awesome of you. I'm thinking to myself, she's been missing for months. If she was out there, she would be skeleton remains. Okay. She wouldn't be. And if you look at this thumbnail, it's just her laying on the ground dead. Right. And I'm thinking, holy hell, how can people put this on the internet and just get away with it? Like, there's no repercussions or consequences or anything. It's just a picture of her laying on the ground dead. And AI, listen, I enjoy AI because it makes life a little bit easier, especially when it comes to making thumbnails, descriptions, tags, things like that. But AI also can make it be where you really don't know what the hell is going on. You can't tell anymore from what's real and what is fake. And I think that is horrible. I look at shit now and I don't even know if it's real. You know, the old saying is, believe nothing you hear and only half of what you see. Now it's like, don't believe anything you hear and don't believe nothing that you see, because everything is a damn lie and made up, just completely made up BS. Now, this post was up, and I'm going to pull this post up because we saved screenshots so you people didn't think I was crazy. Let me see. Is this it? Okay. Finding Nancy Guthrie. This is the other one. Hold on, let me see if PJ sent me this other screenshot. Give me 1 second. I'm just trying to get this pulled up for you guys. Damn it, I just clicked on the wrong button. Let me go over here to my email. Okay, here we go. This is the post that I am talking about right here. Let me save it so I can blow it up. That'd be the quickest way. All right. Let me save this real fast. I want to show y'all this. This deals with the Bitcoin and the ransom and who the kidnapper actually is. Okay. Let's go to downloads. All right. Here we go. Here we go. I want to show this. And this is the same person What did I do? Damn it. All right, give me 1 second, guys. Technical difficulties. But I want to show y'all this. This is... Where's my... I done lost my StreamYard. All right, here we are. Back. I'm finally back. I was like, I got confused for a second there. Let me share the screen with you. This is from the Midwest Pundit. All right. And it says, good evening. Breaking down these updates and bulletin points for ease. The ransom to Bitcoin guy was paid. He admitted in emails that she never made it to Mexico, but was alive for 1 to 2 days. Bitcoin guy was an eavesdropper per Bitcoin guy. The main suspected kidnappers' initials are JHRG. Throwing this in for the I told you so moment. Recap for the we know this shit crowd. Here's your new detail. Ransom paid, information points away from Mexico. Unlikely dude is connected. The FBI has a person of interest. Okay, the FBI has a person of interest. Now, was Bitcoin guy paid? Now, if you got $1.2 million and this dude wants $30,000 to talk, would you pay him this $30,000? This person who posted this is the Midwest Pundit. All right. And now, as far as we know, this all could be bullshit, right? That's like I said, you can't believe nothing on the internet. How long is the intro to what? This, I think you're behind in the video. We're like 16 minutes into the video. Somebody says, how long is the intro? Right? You must be way back in the video. So as of now, we haven't had anything that confirms that Nancy Guthrie's body has been found, or a suspect of interest, not from the FBI or not from Pima County. This is all coming from people on the internet. Now, I don't know if these people are making this stuff up for attention or what is going on, but something did transpire today. We just don't know what. And listen, when there's no transparency, people tend to speculate, right? They completely tend to speculate. And like I said, when Savannah was supposed to do this interview and then they cut away and they come back and she's not doing the interview, something transpired and we don't know what that is. And that led to today on all these forums, mass speculation. Okay, 34 months. Loving Turtle Gang family. We love you guys too. Thank you for being here with us. And I don't know, will they find Nancy? I talked about this last night, and my video was called The Shock and Truth. And I said, listen, they're not going to find Nancy because they're not looking for Nancy. This stuff that's going on tonight on the internet, it's I'm going to tell you the good part of this. It keeps Nancy's name out there. It keeps people talking about Nancy, right? Because awareness is important. As soon as that awareness goes away, they sweep this shit right under the rug. Now, there's some other stuff that came out. Now, I want to share this with you guys too. Give me 1 second. Let me get it pulled up for you. I'll have to save it so I can blow it up on the screen. Of course. I hate doing this because sometimes I get confused and lose where I'm at. All right. This is... Let me save this. And of course, me and Mab were talking about this exact same thing last night. And this is, they believe Nancy's in this lake. Hold on. Let me share this one with you guys. Let me shrink this. All right, here we go. Let's bring this one on up. A man identified himself as Richard has come forward claiming that his half-brother, Michael, could be the alleged porch figure seen in the earlier footage. He states his brother was in a motorcycle accident, walks with a limp, and resembles the man captured on camera. But that's not all. Richard is also claiming that Nancy may be at the bottom of Rose Canyon Lake. He further alleges that he reached out to the FBI and Sheriff Cresnanos, but says his calls have not been returned. At this time, these claims are unverified and law enforcement has not confirmed this information. Let's talk facts. Early in the investigation, YouTubers went to Rose Canyon Lake, noted steep and difficult terrain. Extremely unlikely conditions, carry a 150-pound woman. So what do you think? Okay. So the thing is this man is, of course, claiming that this is his brother, that his brother was in a motorcycle accident and he walks with that gait. Okay. We seen the dude, he kind of leaned a little bit. And if you remember when he leaned over to pick up the flowers out the garden, he didn't really bend his legs. Okay. 857 LOL. Is 857 in here? 857. You want to take a link? Let me get this link. Come on up. Chat it up with me. All right, let's see. Hold on. Let me try to get this link. This is the link. If 857's in the room, take the link. I don't want a bunch of weirdos jumping up on my chat. I see you, 857. There you go. There's a link. Come on up. So, is this man, like I said, I started to listen to his interview, because I give anybody a chance, right? And he was talking about going to the psychiatrist, and he sounds pretty batshit crazy. And, like I said, he started talking about, aliens, his family's reptilians. And I don't know if he just said that as a, like comparing them to reptilians. But I was just thinking, oh my God, somebody is really off their meds tonight, right? Like, and people give these people a platform. Now, listen, if you called up here and you said, hey, I would probably give you a chance to speak to, right? Even if it was crazy, because I would think to myself, okay, this person's full of shit, but, it's pretty decent entertainment, to listen to. But, at some point you got to be like, hey, man, can you back up or can you verify anything you're saying? Now, did they throw this woman in a lake? Let me tell you this. I drove around damn Tucson forever. I didn't even see as much as a mud puddle. Okay. Lake beds, dry, nothing around. Okay. We got Tucson in the back. Let's bring them on up. Tucson.
What is up, man? Can you hear me?
Yes. What is good with you, brother? How's life treating you?
Man, it's slow now, man. Without you guys here, I mean, things have been.
Is it lonely? Out. Is it lonely?
I mean, I have lots of people here, so I do lots of other things, other than Nancy. So it's I'm busy, but
Tucson misses us. We miss you too, Tucson.
Oh, I was just thinking today.
You know what? I was at dinner today, and when they started rumoring that Nancy may have been found, right? Because I was reading all these bullshit posted all over the internet today, because you know how these forums are crazy. I looked at PJ and I was like, well, it looks like I'm jumping back on a plane to Tucson tonight.
Yeah, right.
And then, as soon as that happened, we see another post that says, okay, there's no press conference. There's nothing. I said, All right, let's pump the brakes and let me finish eating my roll from Texas Roadhouse before I start buying plane tickets. Right? So, what you seen the whole Savannah thing today on the Today Show, and she kind of like she disappeared on the show. She just what is
And
going
then she
on?
came back. And so I was like, because she did come back, I guess, after that. So, maybe she I mean, it's so, like you said, speculation. I have no idea. I mean, we automatically think it's connected to the case.
Yeah, for her just to not do the interview and she's supposed to do it and then she don't do it. I thought she may have got a call. And I was like, okay, did she get a call that somebody's been found? Because if they find somebody, like I seen a thumbnail today and it was Nancy's body on the ground, right? It's you know how
Yeah.
people are using AI to make the thumbnails. And I was like, that is crazy that somebody put that because she's been missing for over 2 months. She would be a skeleton. She wouldn't have no meat on her body. She wouldn't be recognizable. You would have to send her off with DNA testing just to find out if it is her. She would be
Well,
unrecognizable.
that's why, I mean, we're hoping, everybody's hoping. I mean, sure, the investigators will just say, somebody says, here's where Nancy is.
Yeah.
And then they can go and recover her, right? Like, even if they just left it in a parking lot somewhere, or some where there's no cameras, with a note that says, here, this is where she is, and these people get away, whatever. At least we can get Nancy's body. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think nothing would ever be that easy, Tucson. That seems pretty.
Hey, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful.
You're really hopeful. Like that would be like the first time ever in history.
Hey, but here's the thing: is if it was somebody who was, not necessarily the killer, but they, or I won't say the killer, but the abductor, someone that's just, has a heart. But of course, the worst case scenario we're kind of all thinking is she won't be found, and then these people are basically, never going to be found either. Obviously, they've done a great job so far.
So, what do you think about this guy that's coming out tonight saying he's the Porch guy's brother? His name is Richard Nolet or something like that, Jr.
Yeah, I mean, I like watching like true crime shows and things like that. So I think a lot of it's entertainment, and I think people are learning about other things, right? So I don't know if it's connected. Most likely, probably not, right? I mean, common sense. I'm more on that level, but I mean, you're learning. I was watching it for a minute, and it got too complicated. But zodiacs and all kinds of.
Yeah, the cipher and the. I was just thinking, we're dealing with. I was good with the cipher. I was good with that because I've watched the Zodiac Killer. I've seen the ciphers and stuff like that. There's still
my thing is I still believe that she should have never went back to the NBC morning show, the NBC news show. My mother's case is still pending. It's still ongoing. No answers. Not even her body. Like nothing. Like that. That's like nothing. And not only is there nothing, it just seems like it's based on like when we saw that the ring camera, like we thought it was going to be solved just like that. Like, damn, this is it. This is the smoking gun. This is the red herring. This is it. It's over with. They're going to catch that man. Like somebody's going to know who the fuck this fool is, but no. But so being that this case has been so convoluted, and she just did an interview. This was while she was on indefinite leave from NBC News. She just did an interview with that black lady. Like, it's my fault. It's my fault. It was a stalker of mine. He couldn't get me, so he got my mom. It's my fault. It's my fault. It was me. And she was like in tears, buckets of tears, really distraught. And again, I'm not saying that she's. I actually don't think she's involved. The family, everyone in the family, in-laws, spouses, girlfriends, every boyfriends, everybody took a lie detector test and they passed with flying colors. So the family didn't do it, but that doesn't mean that that it's that this case we still don't need to get to the bottom of this. Like except that the family wasn't involved, and that's only what, like 7 people. Savannah, her brother Cameron, her sister Annie, her husband, what they keep calling him, Tomato, But Tomas, you know, all them are ruled out because they took FBI lie detector tests, so they're ruled out, right? So the case is still ongoing and it's still convoluted. We have no answers, and this bitch decides to go back to NBC News. Like, why? I'm not resting until we get to the bottom of this, whether my mother's body is found, or the killer is found, or the case is closed. Because this is like saying that, oh, this is nothing. Like, my mom isn't out there probably like chopped up in pieces in the Arizona desert. No, no, there's this. And in other news, Britney Spears got a new tattoo. Stay tuned for the story when we get back. Like, we're just gonna go back to NBC Morning News. Like, no, hell no, no. And then the fact that I don't look at the NBC News morning news show. I don't look at that, so I would have known this. I would have not had known this. But the fact she just supposed to interview Anne Hathaway, that's a big interview, like a big name celebrity, right? Like, why would you not want to interview Anne Hathaway? I mean, come on. As a reporter, that's a news anchor. That's a good thing to add to your resume that I interviewed Anne Hathaway. And all of a sudden, and they did coming up. I interviewed Anne Hathaway. This is Savannah Guthrie. You're watching the Today Show. Good morning. And then they come back from that bumper or that teaser, whatever. And that bitch is gone. If that isn't suspect, I don't know what is. Like, what the fuck happened? And then you got this fucking idiot, a schizophrenic idiot, saying that he put lizards up his ass, and my brother's the patio guy in the dressed like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. That's my brother. Like, so that comes out. Now they're saying she's in a fucking river. Like, what river is in Arizona? There aren't any. The only river in Arizona is the Hoover Dam. That's it. Come on. So they're not saying that she's in some type of river. Like, what the fuck? Like, Arizona is a desert. There are no rivers. Like, what the fuck? Like, it just a lot of this case is just getting weirder and fucking weirder. Like, what the fuck?
Still ciphers to this day they ain't never been able to figure out in the Zodiac Killer. And I was listening to this guy. He got all the way to the point to where he was like, well, I need a new psychiatrist. And, my psychiatrist told me I had empathy, and my family don't have that because they're reptilians. And soon as he got to the reptilians part, I said, okay, I fucking can't do this. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I would have listened to you, bro. I would have listened to you. But as soon as your family was lizard people, it just something about it said, okay, guy, you're crazy. Now, I've had people call in. I had a lady call in one night and say it was her husband, that her husband kidnapped her kids a long time ago, and she ain't never seen her kids, and she's sure it's her husband. And I said, how's your husband? She was like, he's 64. I was like, yeah, I don't think that's a 64-year-old man on the porch. You know what I'm saying? Did he have tattoos? I asked the lady. She said no. And I was like, well, there's one thing we do know about Porch Guy is he has damn tattoos, right? You can see it on his wrist. That's the only good identifying thing we have. And he has well manicured eyebrows. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're looking.
How old do you think he is?
I think he's 30 to 35 years old.
Yeah. I think he was, 25 to 30. So, I mean, obviously right in there, but I mean, as far as going forward.
I guess this height right before when they were putting them tents up out there, I got on my live stream. You can go back and watch it. And I said, listen, you want to profile this guy? I said he is 5'9", 200 pounds. He's Hispanic descent. He lives within 10 to 15 miles of Nancy Guthrie. And he lives with a mother or a family member. And then, of course, that same day, they came out and said he was 5'9", 200 pounds. And I was dead ass right on it. Right. I still think I'm right about the whole thing. He's Latino, and
here's what I think, and that's the thing is as much as it's all these conspiracy theories, I'm still back at the stupid simple theory, common sense. What is it? Occam's razor, and basically burglary gone wrong, possibly. But
yeah, I thought that too, Tucson. I for the longest time, when everybody was saying, it's the family, I was like, nah, Tucson's pretty rough, and the crime is bad, and it's just moving into the Catalina foothills, and it was a burglary gone wrong. I believed that, right? But then when Savannah got up there and said she believed that them ransom notes to be true, Then I was like, okay, well, for that to be true, these people knew a lot of information. Like they just knew that door was unlocked, or they had a key to that door, right? Because there was no
here's
forced
the other
entry
thing.
into the house.
Yeah. And here's the other thing is they could be using that information to throw off, you know, the public with what they're actually going off. You know, she could be involved saying, you know, because why would she say that if the authorities aren't going to say it? That was planned. It wasn't just slip. They told her, hey, let this know that you think, because she wouldn't just go that and say that without the FBI knowing, right? What do you?
I mean, I don't know. I just,
Well,
you know, she said she believed it to be real. The two she's seen. But here's the thing, Tucson. If somebody kidnapped your mom and there was 10 ransom letters, how many of them would you read?
yeah, you'd be reading all of them.
You'd be reading all of them. But she didn't say it. She said she read she said there was many ransom letters, and she read 2 of them.
Yeah.
Right? That's a little one. But she said the 2 that she read, she believed to be real. See, me the whole time, I thought the ransom notes were bullshit. I completely did.
Up until she said that, but now it goes me to, you know, lets me think that they're so quiet about what they're releasing that they would have edited that out if they didn't want her to say that, right? And so it was purposely said that she believes they were real. And so if maybe they're putting that out there to throw off the perps. Now here's the deal: is if you've been here, you know, to Catalina Foothills, and you know how close Tucson is, most likely they're thinking that the person came from Tucson because they just came out today, Brian Inton. Most likely that the person knew Nancy.
Yeah, I seen that. Well, I seen the title. I didn't watch the whole video.
So this guy's living right here in Tucson.
I believe that too. That's my original thing. I believe, like I said, he's 10 to 15 miles from Nancy's house. And Catalina, the foothills, that's part of Tucson, ain't it?
Well, technically, no.
It's not?
Technically, it's its own, you know, it's in the county. You know, it's unincorporated land in Pima County. So that's why the sheriff got the case.
You really should play his interview today. You are spot on.
Yeah, about me being spot on. Somebody said I should play Brian Hinton. Yeah, I seen his title that, you know, that people believe that it's an inside job, that it's somebody that's familiar with her. And it seemed like that because what's the odds that he knew how to enter that house and he knew nobody was coming, right? Because there's still rumors out there that there was a nanny cam in the house because even Sheriff Nanu said, listen, we're not going to address the cameras that were on the outside or the inside of the house. If there was no cameras on the inside of the house, why would he say that? So it leads me to believe there was a camera in that house. So
that's where they could, you know, they could actually, you know, see Nancy coming in at 10 in the morning or 10 at night, you know, 9:48 when she walked in. So they could say, okay, here she is. She goes to her bedroom. And they could actually map out what happened. Now, here's another thing is when you're driving down that street, right, Nancy Street, her street, from what I just realized, is the only street that you can, or the only house that you can see the door from the street. So basically, when you're driving up, you know, you see houses, but you can't see the front door because there's trees or there's Nancy's is the only one that you can literally stop and you can see the front door. So these people could see their getaway without going up some windy driveway. So these are things that, you know, if they were targeting her, they were watching her if they were there on January 11th. And
they were definitely there on January 11th. Well, at least the porch guy was. I mean, we say they as there's 2 people, but we know at least the porch guy was there January 11th and February 1st. Here's another tricky one, though. You know, he propped open the gate, okay? And then he propped open the back door. Now, people, you know, speculate that the reason he did that just in case he had to make a fast getaway. But if you ran out the back door and ran out to the gate, that would take you out into the front yard where people would pull up. You wouldn't run that way. You would run, jump the fence behind their house and go to the next street over if you was trying to make a quick getaway. It wouldn't make sense to run out to the front of the house. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense to run out to the front of the house, because if you ran out the gate's going to lead you towards the front of the house.
Yeah. And that's where, you know, even when they were saying, you know, that in the ransom notes, they described items in the house.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing, though. Did they know about, or did they find out about that video where Nancy was in the bedroom before that? So
yeah,
maybe somebody watched that. They wrote the video saying, hey, look at Nancy's. We can write and we can say, because that video was pretty eye-opening to see Nancy.
Yeah, but that wouldn't have told you where the iPhone watch was. Even TMZ addressed that it was something about an iPhone watch. So,
yeah.
And I think if this person knew where that iPhone watch, like say if it wasn't on the counter. So a lot of people think it was on a night dresser, like when most people take their stuff off and set it down. I do that a lot. I'll set my iPhone watch on the dresser, my cell phone on the dresser beside the bed. Right? Most people do that. It's a common thing. So you could guess, okay, it's on the nightstand. That would be an educated guess, right?
Yeah.
And you would probably be 80% of the time, you would probably be right. But if that shit was somewhere else, like let's say it was in the bathroom sink, and that letter said, hey, the iPhone watch was in the bathroom sink, you know that letter's real. You know it. And for her to believe it's real, it had to contain something. And even Harvey said that it contained things that only the kidnapper would know in that house. You know, so I don't know if it's a video where, because really you can see the video, you can see her bed, and she's making the bed, she's showing you how to make the bed, right? And you can see her little nightstand, and you can see the little window, sliding glass door that's there, but it don't really show you where none of her belongings are.
No,
So
and that's where they, you know, normal investigations, the authorities would come back with, hey, we're going to clear this up because we kind of maybe, you know, we thought this, now it's this. They don't care about the public's, you know, just outcry for more information. And so that's where today, when we heard the leak, we're like, oh, there's a leak. There might be a leak. I mean, there could be a leak where somebody is finally fed up with how Sheriff Nanos, No News Nanos, is handling it.
Yeah, it's impossible to stop complete leaks, because one of those detectives will go home and tell their wife, and then their wife is going to tell somebody, and then it's that grapevine effect. It's boom, 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 and then it travels, hits the internet.
Yeah, and that's where it could be. They're throwing, you know, my hope is that they're watching people locally here, and they're just waiting for one of them to slip. Right? This guy at the front door was no genius, right? I mean, there's no experience. I mean, he might have had dressed up like, but you know, grabbing plants and just the whole, even being seen on that camera. He, you know, if it was someone experienced, they probably wouldn't even been seen on that camera. So
yeah, a lot of people thought it was a hitman, and I was telling people, I was like, listen, hitmen don't shop at Walmart, not in the Hollywood movies anyway. They don't shop at Walmart. I mean, I can't see a hitman going to Walmart to buy a gun and carrying it inappropriately. You know what I'm saying?
No, he looked like he was a part of a group, and I would think, like, we do have lots of you know, like every city in America have these small little cliques. You know what I mean? Gangs. I mean, I don't even want to call them gangs, because they're not gangs. They're almost wannabes in a way, like, you know, people that they graduated high school with, and now they're not really doing much, and they start thinking of, hey, let's do this, let's go steal this car, and then it escalates, right? You hear about this all the time. So that's kind of what I think. You know, if it's not some big conspiracy, it could just be something as simple as that. But I think it's just they're doing the public a disservice by giving so many people to think so many different things. You know, I mean, if Savannah came out and said that the other day, right, and said, hey, I think these are real, the authorities should have came back and said, yes, we think they're real too.
Yeah, yeah. I think that would have been like, I would like to hear Nanu's his thoughts on it. I would like not only that, but I would like them to release the ransom letters, because sometimes writing, somebody may recognize how somebody structures their writing. You know, I mean, that's how the Unabomber was caught. They released his manifesto, and when they did, his brother recognized the manifesto, his writing, and he says, "My brother talks like that." The next thing you know, you got Ted Kaczynski.
Wait a minute, I thought the Unabomber was caught because his original bombings were like in like the 70s and 80s, where there weren't that many surveillance cameras. Like it was kind of a perfect crime to do that sick shit, but he just wouldn't stop, and the Unabomber kept going. When he got caught, like what, like 05 or something, 04, like that was like his last like bombing attempt or something, and they caught him on camera. Oh, you're the Unabomber? Yeah, I've been doing this from since the 70s. Y'all were just stupid and never saw me. I thought that's how he got caught, was when cameras came out, and that's how they caught the Unabomber. But whatever, because he had the hoodie and the glasses. That was his signature. You know, that was his costume. That was his. You know, so you know that is me. I'm the Unabomber. But yeah, but girl.
So I'm thinking, hey, at this point, why not release this information? Because we know they're there. So the only difference is that we don't know exactly what they say. But they say that the second one was apologetic. Like, of course, the second letter must have been like, your mother's passed away. You get us the money when you can, or something. You know, we're sorry, we didn't mean to kill her, but she died.
Yeah, and that's
speculation. That's speculation, of course, but that's what people are saying, because, you know, Savannah came out in that following interview and said, you know, we want to celebrate our mother.
Yeah.
You know, and they,
you know, that's where it's hard to know what exactly is, you know, they're dealing with, because we're just going on what Savannah said now, and that we can't go on that, even though she said it. We need the authorities to, just like they're supposed to, hey, we're going to update this. I mean, I was looking at, what is the date of the last press conference? I think it's been,
I think, a month ago.
I mean, to not even put out any, and they know that the public is sitting on there every day waiting for something, and they can't even just say, look, we're working hard here, we're going to take some questions. We might not be able to answer them, but we know the public, there's a big public interest, and we want to be transparent with you. And yes. It's political, I think. I'll be honest, it's political.
They told us more about, you know, more mad at the media and YouTubers being out there than they have what happened to actually physically, what they think about what happened to Nancy. I've seen just what News 4 there in Tucson, like day before yesterday, they posted something about YouTubers harassing the neighbors. Okay. Nice. And what did the police get called on you when you went up there?
There was an undercover that literally undercover, and he was literally creeping down the street, and I thought he was just parked, you know, not parked. And then I got out it wasn't even 15 seconds. He came running up with his lights on, and it was a Mustang, undercover Mustang. Nice guy, but he just said, yeah, we're assigned now here to literally just pull up on people if they even stop. And so I tried it the next day, and when I went there, there was two sheriffs that happened to be there. With the Tesla guy. I don't know if you remember Tesla guy, but he's been coming back and forth to Nancy's, and I said, can I drop flowers? He said, yeah, as long as you don't go on their property. So, I mean, I guess you can still stop, drop the flowers, and get to your car, but you might get a ticket at this point, the way that they're treating people.
So, I mean, if you're walking down the street and stop out in front of there, you know, because I seen Alex, he was out there and he didn't have a vehicle.
You can do that, but there's another guy, DeJuice. Did you meet DeJuice?
Nah, everybody started showing up there at the end. Yeah, DeJuice, I don't know. That sounds too much like OJ to me. So there's Juice, there's Mark the Shark, there's a Ted Bundy looking dude that was hanging out with JLR, right? I don't know. There's a lot of
The
people
juice.
there.
Yeah, he's been going out there every night, and he's been getting flicked off, and people saying, why are you still here? This kind of, stuff. And so I'm going to go out there one day and just try to win over the neighbors, right? A little bit.
Oh, good luck with that. Sue Ellen's going to get you. You're going to come up missing. I'm going to be down there looking for you next.
Exactly. So, no, I'm just going to go in there, 4 or 5 hours. It shouldn't be a big deal if it's once a week or, twice a week.
Oh, man.
And really just, I'll give them a yellow ribbon as they walk by, and just say, here, we made these for all the neighbors. I don't know.
Yeah.
Win them over.
Now, let me ask you this, Tucson, because you're there. Have you heard anything about search parties or anybody looking for Nancy, or, No,
I think if you rewind to the first press conference with Nanos, and they decided that it was a homicide. Remember, I called my homicide team right away when we.
Yeah, but also they were searching hospitals for 2 days. They were calling hospitals, checking the hospitals for 2 days. They thought this woman walked out.
And that's where, as far as Savannah calling the hospitals, I think that was like her emotional reaction, because she said, we've tried I'm sure they looked everywhere.
But they wasn't saying it was a homicide at that point. They never been like, well, she's dead. We got the homicide detectives here. They made it to be like they were still looking for her. And it made me think the way that conversation went with Savannah and Annie, that they wasn't that close.
Nah, I don't think so. I mean, the thing with Tucson is, the people, there's not a lot of opportunity here, right? Especially if you got a degree, right? Like Savannah. So when she left, Tucson is like a place she'll come and visit for a day or two and see some old friends, and then she's on a plane out of here.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
Exactly. And so
it does have beautiful sunsets. The sunsets are unbelievable there. I told everybody, I was like, listen, I could watch the sunset in Tucson every fucking night. It is that beautiful, But far as me, I'm more of I'm more of a beachy person. It's just not enough water there for me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's where, she's out doing her thing. She's got probably things going on every night as far as events and $40 million. She's very wealthy. But Annie and Tommaso are the on the ground people for Nancy. And when you live in Tucson, they call it the biggest small town in the United States, because it's got this small town feel wherever you go, right? I mean, I go to other cities and it's this big city atmosphere. We don't really have that. It's very cliquey, right? As far as people being a part of different political parties and things like that. So Annie and Tommaso here, to be in Tucson and not have any comment on anything is just strange. And to me, it's politically tied to, the politics here. That's how they want to keep the narrative going, that because here, if they don't want to tell Tucson residents that there might be a roaming group targeting an elderly woman.
Yeah.
So they're making it sound like it's a ransom. It could be some internet but technically speaking, it could be a political narrative that they're trying to get the public to buy into, so we don't have fear, right? We don't get a bad rep, right? If all of a sudden people think that we got instead of being an isolated incident with Savannah, right?
Yeah.
If it's that, well, then people aren't that scared. Oh, they were just after Savannah versus something else. You see what I'm saying?
But he did tell the people, of course, it took him almost a month and a half, but he did say, well, this person could, lock your doors, be vigilant. It could happen again, So to right there, that takes away that it's an isolated event. We think we think this is the reason, but we're not 100% So, keep an eye out, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
if it was completely isolated and they believe from the beginning it was isolated, why even say that? It would have been like, well, this was a targeted attack. They went after her. These ransom notes are real. The community don't have to be scared.
There is a North Guthrie Road in Mount Lemon. Maybe Arch.
Okay, there is a North Guthrie Road in Mount Lemon, maybe Arch.
Yeah, there is some Guthrie roads, but I mean, it's a pretty popular name. Essentially, it's not Smith, but there are Guthries,
Yeah, Johnson, Williams. I got a real common name. Yeah, and the whole, this person with the Bitcoin. What you don't buy into this at all? That you don't believe that the ransom notes are legit?
No, I mean, I'm leaning away from it, but like I said, it's still, I'm at like 50-50, but some days it might be 49-50, but when it first happened, I ran a poll on my site, and it was like 80-20 to them being a hoax, because they didn't get anything out of it, but it always keeps coming back. So I mean, I wake up every day with confusion.
I've never been so confused in a case in my whole damn life. I usually know exactly who did it, and I have a motive in my head, and it never changes. This one changes all the time. It changes all the time. There was something else I wanted to ask you. I done forgot now. It couldn't have been that important. So this woman, you don't believe they took her to Mexico, and this was. Do you think the family at all has anything to do with it?
No, here's what I think when I heard at the beginning that made the most sense. It was somebody that knew either Tommaso or Annie, right, or Nancy, indirectly, right? So it could
just knew of them.
Well, it could be they knew Tommaso, and it was and it was a woman, and then that woman had a boyfriend, and it could be, some house cleaner that whatever
told somebody.
Her son knew that she worked at Nancy Guthrie's house and went to go help her one day. I mean, what I mean, indirectly. So they would not have no idea, but that person knew that. So indirectly, meaning anybody that's indirectly connected that would know who and where Nancy lived. That's who I think they're trying to connect the dots, because as you know, that house, you would have to really know where to go. So that's
it's deep into the neighborhood too. It ain't like it's right at the beginning of the neighborhood. You got to go deep ass into that neighborhood to even get to that house. You go past 100 other houses before you even get to that house. And I was thinking the same thing, that why pick that house? But you gotta, like you said, when you driving down the street, you can see the front door. Most of them houses you can't see, and it's not really where anybody can see the house, the other neighbors, because they're up on that hill.
And here's the thing, is back to my burglary gone wrong. Remember Brianna Whitney?
Brianna Whitney. Is she another girl that went missing in Tucson?
No, she's a crime reporter, the best in Arizona. She's top rated.
I don't know. I don't know too many reporters in Arizona.
Yeah, well, she's the one that came out with the breaking news. It was breaking news for a whole day, that her source, which is FBI Phoenix, told her it was a burglary gone wrong. And then it went so far that she posted it, and she posted it on Twitter X. She went live with it. So for her to go live with that, her producer would have to say, yep, if you think it's good, it came from your source, right? Okay, well, it's good. And they hit post. And then not even 5 minutes later, Nanos, I mean, I've never seen Nanos respond to somebody so quick. He said, that didn't come from us. We didn't say that, but that's the thing, is when she said that, and then, so I still think it is, even though they don't want the public to know that. Right?
That it was a burglary. I mean, because I would think the same thing. If you got the back door propped open, you were carrying things out the back door. You know, or if you had the fence propped open.
And people ask, well, why was she in there? Why were they in there so long? Well, I heard she had a safe in there, right?
41 minutes. 41 minutes is a long time for a burglary. I mean, that is a long time.
So if you figure, you know, they gotta get into the safe, maybe something happened and they freaked out, right? And these guys aren't experienced. We gotta take her because of the, you know, the DNA on the body.
Yeah.
So they freaked out and took her is probably but people are saying, you know, not taking anything. We don't know. Even though they said they didn't take anything, they can lie.
Yes, I was about to say that. Yeah, they're telling us nothing was taken, and the house was pristine, and the blood was just in the foyer in the doorway leading out to the driveway. But we've learned in so many different cases that the police can straight out come out and lie. What if they took a necklace, and they ain't going to tell us they
She
took
was wearing a necklace in all her on her pictures. Remember?
And then that necklace ends up in a pawn shop or ends up with a dope dealer, and they bust this dope dealer, and he has this necklace. You know what I'm saying? They don't want people to know that if there is an item of interest. And you remember when the FBI was out there walking, they were looking for something small on the ground. What do you think they were looking for, Tucson?
What I heard, it was a burner phone.
You think they were looking for a burner phone?
That's what I heard. I mean, I heard that was what they were looking for.
Because I remember everybody was following them, all the media was out there, everybody was running behind them, and I could tell they were looking for something small because they damn sure weren't looking for her body, not the way they were looking. And they were even looking into her yard. And I was thinking, man, this has been over a month, and they're still searching her damn yard. Do you think this investigation was botched? You from Tucson, do you think they did a horrible job on this investigation?
You know, I as far as I don't know enough inside the investigation, but I think a horrible job as far as information, you know, providing information. And then as soon as I saw Mark Kelly show up that day, I knew something. They're trying to control the narrative. I mean, if you think about how close Tucson is to Catalina Foothills, have you heard of any searches in Tucson? Like in Tucson, the city of Tucson?
No, I haven't heard any searches in the hills of Catalina. That's what I'm saying. I have never seen a case in my whole entire life, and I've traveled all over the country, Tucson, to Arizona where you're at, right? Where I met you, to California, to Georgia, from coast to coast. And I have never seen a case where they wasn't searching for the missing person.
And then, you know, and that's the thing is they knew for whatever reason she was kidnapped because he did say it was a targeted kidnap. So they stopped from that day on. They acted like it. They sent some people out, remember? But what it is we do have a lot of people that go missing out here, hikers, right? Hikers.
Yeah.
The same week that Nancy went missing, they were also looking for a man not far, probably like 10 miles from Nancy, who was missing. He was a hiker. And they found him like 6 days later, you know, unfortunately passed away. So
what did the elements get him, or?
I think so.
Yeah.
And he was an retired officer. So this wasn't some, you know, just guy, you know, he was, you know, obviously don't know exactly
was he from Tucson? Because usually people would, usually y'all are more adapt than me. Like I kept telling people that Tucson was hard on my body, and nobody wanted to believe that. And I'm like, nah, for real. It's like the dust in the air, the dry air. It was just killing me, right? Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't understand that it's a rough environment. If I see people out there, they take it a lot better than I do. But you guys are local. Y'all done grew up there, and y'all are like cactuses. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say there's tough ass people in Tucson, right? I'm like, I'm fragile. I'm from the coast. I need sand and ocean. You know, like I couldn't take it. I could take it for a few days at a time, and then I start to drop, and I start to have nosebleeds and things like that, and then I start freaking out. It bothers my anxiety, and
No, it's a dry heat. Yeah, and I mean, if you stayed out here, your body, you would get used to it. But out there, you got that humidity.
yeah, the
Everything's
moisture in the air, it keeps it.
Here, nah, it's dry.
Yeah, and yeah, the whole situation's strange, and the weird thing about this, and this, I know you think it has, this is just a random attack and a burglary,
No,
but
50-50. I could convince you the ransom part too. I'm just saying we can't discount that, right? Because everybody's thinking now 100% ransom. Oh, it's got to be that because Savannah said it. I'm just saying keep an open, mind. It could be. I could tell you it could be a ransom too, but we just don't know because they're not giving us. Hey, we think it is a ransom. Or
have you ever seen a family? Have you ever seen a family that didn't search for their missing loved one?
No, and I think the celebrity part of it, because Savannah, they have literally the most experienced, public, what do they call them? Advisors that tell people how to act and, hey.
Yeah.
And then so what I think is Savannah already had that. And then Annie and Tommaso also got that service too. And they've probably told them, hey, don't say anything. Don't say. So to me, it might be part their personality, Annie and Tommaso. They're just, they're not out in the public, like Savannah is. And they're also being told, I think, just my opinion, to be quiet.
I could see Savannah not searching because he's a celebrity and there could be a threat on Savannah because people believe that this threat was, of course, the mother is because of Savannah. Even Cameron, the brother, said that to her. Hey, it's your fault. Because you got money. So this is a kidnapping for ransom. He knew that in the very beginning. Like that was his first thought. Kidnapping for ransom. That is a little bizarre. And then, I ain't saying he has anything to do with it. I'm just thinking, I know he worked in intelligence and in the military and he was a fighter pilot. I was just thinking, damn, dude, are you also a psychic? Right? Because what's the chances? If my mom was missing, my first thought wouldn't be kidnapping for ransom. But then again, I'm not rich, so I'll be thinking
he knows inside information then, or like I said, when we heard today that there might be information, there's a leak. It can't be silent forever. Right. So, hopefully by Christmas, right, we at least get in one update.
He said by Christmas. I want something before Christmas. That's a long damn time, Tucson, to Christmas.
Hey, I'm trying to be, at least hope.
Hopeful, I guess, right? I want something this week. I guess you're a little more patient than I am. I'm a little more impatient. I'm like, can y'all come on already? It's been 2 months. And I know some of these investigations take time. I've been around enough of them to know that usually within the first 2 months, around the 2-month mark, we see movement or an arrest or something like that. Or if not, it usually turns into a cold case. Eventually it just fades off and people stop showing interest in it and something big else happens and everybody just moves on to the next story and so on and so on, as the wheels turn, but like I was saying, I can see Savannah not searching because of the threat to her, but her family, they're not celebrities, and to do no type of searching, or you have this money, but you don't hire searchers. You could hire people, private investigators. We ain't heard of them hiring no private investigators, unless, like you're saying, that they've been coached by the FBI, right? But the FBI also came out, the spokesperson for the FBI, and said, listen, we don't tell families to pay a ransom or not to pay a ransom. We just tell them, hey, there's a ransom. This is what they demand. And it's up to the families to pay the ransom or not pay the ransom. And, of course, they chose not to pay the ransom, even though they believed the ransom note to be real. Now, to me, it's almost like saying, my mom's not worth 6 million to me, but she's worth $1 million. You know, that's kind of how I felt about that. I was like, if you believed it was real, why not pay it, right? Because they wanted it in Bitcoin. Bitcoin could be traced, right? Pay that Bitcoin. When somebody tries to, spend that Bitcoin, take that Bitcoin, arrest them, right? Because the Bitcoin just sits in a blockchain until it's transferred to some type of account that can turn it into currency. And then once that currency is extracted, that's when you move in with the FBI and possibly get an arrest. Because if the ransom note was real, if they would have paid it, it may have led to the arrest. But now that they didn't pay it, there's nobody to collect any money, and there's nobody to track down. So
and that's where the odds of all of these things was watching the interview room the other day, and the odds that kidnappings, the percentage is so low of people being kidnapped anywhere in America, like this kind of way, right?
For ransom, you mean?
For ransom, yeah. And then also for her age, right?
Yeah.
And so this guy, he listed all these things about how rare this is, that, I mean, anything's possible. And if it's one of those, just 1% out of 99% that this happened, and it was this big plan thing, right? I mean, it would take a lot of planning to go, okay, hey, we're gonna kidnap Nancy, we're gonna take her here and hold her, and then we gotta hold her for 2 days, right? I mean, so you're talking about some real risky behavior, right? Too. I mean, these people would. I mean, who would do that? Like, okay, we got to keep her alive, right? And I mean, we're talking some nerve-wracking stuff here. So to me, it seems a little far-fetched, but what seems more common sense is people are staking out houses. They used to do it in the Hollywood where they were targeting celebrities and sports stars. And here, that's hey, let's go here. I know she left at 8:30. They could have been in there, waiting for her to get home in the bunkhouse, right? And there is some things like the time that they were in the house was odd, but that's where we just keep waking up with, like, come on, give us something. So
now, under your theory, burglary gone bad, right? She confronted him middle of the night. We know she was bleeding, so at some point they assaulted her in the house, okay, to draw blood, right? So at some point she was assaulted because she wouldn't, she's bleeding. They say it's a nosebleed, but your nose just don't bleed, right? So somebody had to hit her in the nose or bust her mouth or something to get the blood that we got.
Wouldn't take much, probably, right? I mean,
not on an 84-year-old woman. I mean, one backhand, she's probably going to be bleeding all over the place, right? Especially from a 200-pound man, right? It don't take much, right? So, I'm a bleeder. You slap me, there'd be blood everywhere. So, how far do you think you're going to travel with this lady to get rid of her? Under your theory, wouldn't she be in a dumpster close by? Maybe should they be searching more of the landfill, or would they just go to a deserted spot in the desert and dig a hole? I just don't feel like she's far. Under your theory, I don't think, and because I believed your theory for the longest time, I thought this was just a random crime, and because I'm kind of just leaning towards what Savannah's saying, because I feel like she may be telling the truth, or she was told to say that.
I mean,
but if not,
she's a lawyer.
So, you're not going to drive around far with a dead woman in the car.
No, but if they drove her out to any one of those, like, smaller towns that I went to, like 3 Points, I went to 3 Points. People just have 5-10 acres, and they could go out, pull into and usually it's a gated property of like 10 acres, 5 acres.
Yeah.
You pull it. into these areas, nobody knows what you're doing on your that's the way they like it.
And and they just dig a hole right in their yard and throw your ass in it.
And there's no way that anyone's just going to stumble on that unless they find out the suspect. And so that's the thing, is it is a good point you made, that they could have put her in like a random bigger trash can. You know what I mean? Like a big one. And, like I said, city of Tucson is so close. You would think that it would be a big deal in our city. And it's like, people are, I heard about it, but it's so.
Yeah, even when I was there, I was talking to people, they hadn't even heard about it. Like, no. I was surprised by that. Because I was thinking, man, but again, everybody's not into true crime, and everybody don't really care about missing people.
No.
It's only people that are into missing people and true crime and things like that are really, really aware. Now, it has crossed over into some people that are just in the entertainment, that the entertainment world, and they'll know. Like, I talk to people here about it, and they know in Virginia. Believe it or not, there's more people in Virginia, I think, that knew about Nancy Guthrie than the people I asked in actual Tucson about Nancy Guthrie. And you would think it'd be the hugest thing in the world there, but, it really ain't. It's more around the country than in Tucson.
It's partly how our media, and the locals here. It's a weird city. I don't want to get too political, but yeah, it's it's very what's the proper? It's very progressive, right? And so they don't crime and stuff here, they'd kind of just sweep under the rug. They don't want to talk about. I mean, the mayor, so I think a lot of that is just the Tucson personality. As far as they don't want to have a bad name, right? And this already kind of was the worst nightmare for a lot of locals, because they feel it was a bad name for Tucson. But I'm sure what do you think now about hearing about Tucson? You think it's, because this happened, is it going to affect positive or negative?
My thoughts on Tucson, like I said, is I thought the people in Tucson were cool, right? Everybody I met in Tucson, everybody was super nice, cool people, except for Sue Ann. She was Sue Ellen or whatever her that crazy ass name is. She was a little Karen-ish, right? But there's Karens everywhere. There's Karens in Virginia. Yep. I thought the place was cool. I liked Tucson. I really did. It's really a cool place to visit for a couple of days for my body type. You know what I'm saying? To dry, I can good for 2 or 3 days. Yeah. I enjoy the place. I think Tucson is a little bit of a scary place at certain areas of Tucson, right? It's one of those, damn, let me lock my doors on the car, kind of areas, but then again, there's some really nice areas. But I think it's like any place. It has its good, it has its bad, it has its good people. It's hard to judge a place by that. If you're in the wrong neighborhood at the wrong time, anywhere in the country is bad. So I think Tucson, I would tell people, hey, if you've never been there, it's a cool place to visit. If you like dry air, it's a beautiful place to live. Like I said, I still to this day, I believe it has the prettiest sunsets I've ever seen in my life. It looks like something off an old Western movie,
Well,
so
that's kind of why, and we'll end it here, but I gotta hit up here. But the gem show started that week too, the same week that Nancy. So a lot of people it's the largest gem show in the world.
Yeah, and that people had them gems. Now let me ask you the $1.2 million question real fast.
Well, also with that is a whole bunch of people come into town. You know what I mean? So we had an influx of people from all over the world that come to Tucson that same week. So
that guy said
that is the one thing that they have a whole nother crop of people that were here that were never here the same week Nancy went missing.
Yeah, so there could be somebody that ain't even local that flew in and committed a crime and then left. You're absolutely right. Now, let me ask you the $1.2 million question to Tucson before I let you get out of here.
Yeah.
Will Nancy Guthrie ever be found?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to either be one of those things where you just wake up and there's a guy they found arrested, somebody turned him in, you just wake up and, oh, wow, what all happened? Remember there was and as far as, like I said, it could be by Christmas. I mean, I don't think I think it's going to be a timeline, and if they find her, it'll be someone that's out just hiking, right? And they're out there with their kids, and somebody just discovers her.
Yeah.
Right? As far as the suspect, unless they tell us they have no information, I don't think they're going to find the guy. It seems like either if nobody's given him up yet, how the heck are they going to find it based on that photo?
But with your theory, he's going to strike again.
That's the thing is I think it'll be smaller crimes, right? It won't be like this though, because
you think this was an accident that he didn't know she was in the house?
I think. Okay. I think they could be looking in the prison. The guy probably got out of prison, right? He probably spent, he probably got in trouble right at 18, went to prison, got out, and then they joined prison gangs, right? In prison. Probably got out, and then boom, they need to, they heard about, hey, people are targeting these kind of homes, and it blew up in their face, you know what I mean? And so to me, they're probably, fearful of being caught, right?
Yeah. So. Okay. All right, Tucson. Hey, I appreciate your time, brother. Thanks for coming up here and chopping it up with me.
Keep doing it, man.
All right, you do the same thing. Keep Nancy alive out here. Keep working hard.
And shout out to the turtles.
To the turtles.
Yeah.
All right, shout out to cactuses.
Yep.
All right, my brother.
The javelinas.
The javelinas. Is that what you call your crew? The javelinas?
No, we still don't have a name. I guess the 857s.
The 857s. All right. That works. All right, you be good, brother.
All right.
All right, peace. All right, Tucson. Okay. Good person to hear from. Tucson been down there grinding, working hard to bring awareness for Nancy Guthrie. Really cool dude. You need people like that in your community, especially when you go missing, that get out there and on the front lines battling for you. God, there's so many theories. It's hard. His theory is this is a random crime. And I was on the same page with Tucson for the longest time. I was like, okay, I think the same thing. But the whole thing now is, of course, what Savannah says, right? It kind of contradicts what us true crime people are thinking that, because I didn't want to think that the family could have something to do with this. A lot of people say, Dolly, all you do is blame families of missing people. And I don't. It's just the cases that we cover. It's the family. I mean, what do you want me to say, right? I mean, we cover a lot of cases where it is the family. Think about this. We covered the Jack and Lily Sullivan case, Nova Scotia. The parents didn't go look. The mother took off, hired a lawyer. They still ain't found Jack and Lily. We covered the Summer Wells case, Don Wells. Oh my God. You can't say nothing but oh my God. Sebastian Rogers, his parents never looked for him. They were having a prayer vigil. They were out looking at Harley Davidsons. Of course, I have to talk about these people. I have to address the elephant in the room. I have to say, well, why ain't they looking? Okay? If something I loved was missing, I would be looking. And the same thing I'm saying about Savannah. I don't believe Savannah has anything to do with it. I'm just like, why is she not doing anything? She asked for help, but does she don't want to help herself. You got Tommaso and Annie down there. They live there, and they're not looking for their mother. I mean, at least drive around, look out the window or something. You know what I'm saying? You got YouTubers looking harder than you got the family looking. You have to address that. Somebody has to say something about it. Okay? Now, maybe people don't want to say nothing. They're like, oh, shit, I don't want to be controversial. Right? But you got to be like, hey, shit, something smells funny. Okay? If I lost my keys, I would be looking for them. Okay. If I lost my dog, I would be out looking for my dog, putting out missing flyers. Did we see any flyers for Nancy Guthrie until YouTubers put out flyers for Nancy Guthrie? I didn't see no flyers, no nothing. Of course, the FBI put up signs. They put up a couple billboards that said $50,000 reward for Nancy Guthrie. We seen that, but why? The odd behavior of the family, right? The family just recently was complaining about YouTubers. Let me tell you this, and this is a message for her family if they're watching this. Thank God we're here, right? If you have nothing to do with this, you should be thanking YouTubers, because right now, you know what's keeping this alive? YouTubers. You know what's keeping Nancy's name out there in these streets? YouTubers. You know what's keeping her name in the media? YouTubers. Okay, YouTubers, listen, some of them ain't as good as others. Some of them a little crazy, rough around the edges. You know what I'm saying? But what we do is we're good at spreading awareness. 1,500 people right now listening to their mother. There's other channels probably live right now talking about Nancy Guthrie. They probably got thousands of people in their room. So thousands of people every day are hearing about this story. And of course, the media, you look at mainstream media now, there ain't no new updates on Nancy. They done moved on to the war in Iran and all kinds of other things. To them, it's about ratings. When the ratings start to fall, they're like, oh, hell no, we better move on to something else. And that's all it is. Old standby.
Really good show with you and 857.
857. Yeah, Tucson, like I said, he's a world of information, and of course about the crimes that go down in Tucson. He knew all about it. He knows the politics that run around that city and about all the missing people and how things are ran. So Tucson was my go-to when I was there. If I needed information or I needed to know about the city itself, I wouldn't ask Tucson. I even asked him, how do you stop a charge in Javelina? He didn't really know. You would think he would. You know what I'm saying? I was like, listen, do you throat punch these things? Do you play dead? What do you do if one tries to attack? Okay. He didn't really have a good answer for that. You know what I'm saying? You would think a local would know. But anyway, people coming out like we were discussing before Tucson came up and confessing to, hey, my family did it or this and that. But yet you're going on to YouTube channels to do it. Okay. There's been people go on YouTube and say, I'm the porch guy. We got, of course, a guy today that went up and said that his brother is the porch guy. Now, I don't think people are going to get out here confessing to crimes on the internet. I mean, why would you confess? If you went through all the trouble of wearing a ski mask to commit this crime, why would you jump right up on YouTube and confess to the crime? I just don't think that's really going to happen. All right, now I will play a little bit of this guy that says his brother is the porch guy. All right.
In Prattville, and he
I think he's still live talking.
Of, what do they call that? Help me out, Patrick. There's, to be honest with you.
Let's pull this up. Give me 1 second.
But I have a real feeling that that's something that might not ever happen, to be honest with you, Patrick.
Some comments on social media trying to get a hold of somebody from the FBI.
Watched our video, to be honest with you.
Can y'all hear that?
Yeah, there's a lot of people concerned about what's going on with Nancy and what might have happened to her. And that's kind of why we're here, right?
This is sleuth intuition.
Well, definitely. I'd like to get to the truth of the matter. And I'd definitely like to see her brought home, but I have a real feeling that that's something that might not ever happen, to be honest with you, Patrick.
All right. I might agree with you.
I,
So,
I,
how did we meet? You were leaving some comments on social media, trying to get a hold of somebody from the FBI. Nobody would listen to you, and you recognized the porch guy. Is that correct?
yeah, well, it all started with me recognizing, well, I've been working on the ciphers for the last 4 years, and on the Burger Chef in particular since well, probably May of last year. But I've spent between 12,000 and 15,000 hours working on other Zodiac ciphers, and the one that I spent the most time on was the Scorpion cipher. So basically, one led into another, and I almost did not even bother with the Burger Chef cipher because you probably saw the little cartoon online. It looks
I'm late in the Dolly Express, but I'm up front.
You're up front. Hey, Kim. Good to see you. So this dude, it's weird that he happens to be into the Zodiac ciphers, and his brother is allegedly the porch guy. And like I said, in this case, the crazy thing is this, that like a lot of this stuff, I think a lot of people just need attention. All right. They just need some attention, and they see these crowds gather and they're like, oh, well, I can get the attention I want. And believe it or not, I guarantee this, there is a whole room full of people. I think there's probably 3,000 people watching this. People believe them. They believe them. They believe somebody that is slapped off their rocker, okay, and they'll believe it. Now, me, I'm more of a skeptic when it comes to things. I'm like, I always tell people I'm from the show me state, and really I'm not. I'm from like the peach state, right? And Virginia is for lovers. But I want prove to me, show me something other than you think this is the case. You know, prove to me this is your brother. You know, I would like some proof in this. Now, when you just happen to be into true crime and you watch true crime shows and it's your brother, it don't make sense. If he had something that was credible and he called the FBI tip line and told them, they would be on top of it. Okay? But listen, if I was running the FBI tip line, right, and you called me and said, I'm from a family full of reptilians, my brother is the porch guy, and I have solved the Zodiac cipher. How serious you think I'm going to take that? Okay? How serious? Dude, is Dolly from Georgia? Yes, I'm from Georgia, live in Virginia. How serious you think I'm going to take a person that tells me this? Okay? I might listen to you because, you know, I let people talk. You know, just like Sleuth is, he's letting the guy talk. But at some point, you got to go, okay, this dude is off his meds. It's the middle of the night. And, you know, I'm good with it being entertainment for an hour. But maybe 4 hours, may have been 3 hours too long of letting some crazy talk, right? If I wanted to hear crazy people, I would go volunteer at the mental hospital. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but listen, I take calls from crazy people all the time. Not you guys. Y'all ain't crazy. It's what some of you are. Some of y'all are crazy as hell, right? But I love you. You're still turtles. You're just crazy ass turtles, right? And we hear some crazy stuff here, right? We hear some crazy stuff here, but I only entertain it a little bit, not a lot. All right. But let's get into it. And when you get to a point where you go, okay, this guy is crazy, I just want y'all to put crazy in the chat room. Okay. Like the video first. But as soon as you hear something he says, you go, okay, this guy's crazy. Just simply type crazy. Now he's saying he's bisexual. I don't care about his sexuality. You know, I don't care about his childhood. I don't care about his psychiatrist. I don't care about his reptilian family. I care about, give us some facts that your brother is the porch guy. That's it. Okay, we could have did this in 10 minutes. All right, just You know, they start off with the Zodiac. I mean, what does the Zodiac got to do with Nancy Guthrie? Nothing. Okay, nothing. But soon as y'all think he's crazy, I want y'all to put crazy in the chat. All right, let's listen to it.
It looks like a child's puzzle, and it's it just looks like an innocent little thing to begin with. Hey, there's me. I'm looking at a picture of me on your presentation here, Patrick.
Yeah, let me.
Can you hear me?
Let me enlarge it.
He just shared his file.
Oh, I'd rather not, but go ahead. That's not me anymore. I don't have any dark hair on my face anymore. It's all white, unfortunately. But
here, I think I'm sharing the wrong screen. Hold on.
That was when I was a real estate, big shot
that
real
was
estate.
sent to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Did you imagine this guy selling you a house?
You sound younger, though.
Well, thank you. I chalked that up.
You don't.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry, Patrick. No, I don't smoke, and I don't even drink anymore. So, but to be honest with you, I don't know if you've ever spoken to people like. For me, I've seen a lot of. I've almost seen my mirror self in a lot of women that I've been interested in, and in the end, it almost always. Have you ever met girls that are in their 30s or even older that talk like a little? They have a sort of like a little girl voice.
Oh, Lord, weirdo.
I don't know. I don't mean to be too hard on myself, but what I'm trying to say is I think a lot of it might be like, I don't know. I seriously. think it has to do with the trauma. Like, I don't know. Maybe even my voice is stunted. Yeah, I don't know.
I think you're just
crazy already. Crazy.
That's not what I meant when I said that. What I mean is you just sound younger. You don't sound feminine. You don't sound that age. Usually there's a raspiness that comes with 55.
Yeah, definitely. And I have
at 55 you start sounding like Queen Bee.
I cut out the drinking about 8 or 9 years ago, and that almost killed me, but that's another big story. But I think cutting out a lot of the vices has it's been good for me, in short. But
I think we're going to be facing a technical uphill battle, but I think I might be able to get it all worked out with the assistance of AI and then your guidance. And you want it to be 17 by 25, right? Or 20?
By 20, yeah.
Okay. Before we get into all of that, I just want to update because there's a lot of people watching. I just want to kind of fill them in.
Sure.
So what were you doing when you first saw about what happened to Nancy? Because I didn't even know for about 2 days. It was sent to me.
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing at that time. To tell you the truth, ever since I've figured out that there was a legitimate threat against my life in this Burger Chef cipher, I've been in a major state of fear for the last close to a year now, and it makes day-to-day life really draining. It's taken most of the joy out of my life. Just I don't know if you're
just the realization.
Well, I don't know if you're familiar with the term hypervigilance, but just having to be on guard all the time, and it wears out your adrenal system, and it just on every part of your body and your mind, So
okay, his life has been threatened in the Zodiac Killer cipher. Okay, right there, I would have ended this conversation. I'd have been like, all right, man, thank you for calling. I'll talk to you next time. Anybody that watches Dolly mention, you know them looks I make when people are crazy, right? I'll be like, and then I'll be start trying to get off the phone with them. Y'all know how I do, right? Y'all know how I do. I'll be like, all right, well, we're running out of time. I'll, stay safe. I'll talk to you next time, right? That would have been the whole conversation. As soon as he been like, yeah, the Zodiac, I mean, my life's been in fear for the last year, right? Like, I mean, this is what it's come to. This is what it's come to, guys. Okay? Like, give people a chance, I guess. Give them a chance, but at some point you got to go, okay, I'm not a psychiatrist. Am I getting paid for this to talk to this dude? And like you need to go see a shrink, dude. You need some help. No wonder. Could you imagine going to buy a house from this guy? Because he said he was a big time real estate guy. Like, could you imagine showing up at the house and the dude was like, is there somebody in the bushes? Might be the Zodiac killer. I mean, I've been in constant fear for the last year that the Zodiac killer is going to get me. You're like, dude, bro, this is batshit crazy.
So you don't quite remember where you were at that very moment.
Well, I do remember where I was when I was here at home when I saw the porch guy for the first time. That was shocking as hell. I can tell you that, because there's a major difference between seeing things in a cipher like this and actually seeing somebody that you would rather remember in a good way. I don't know. It just confirmed everything, and it was both. How do I make sense of this? It was unsurprising on one hand, but it was shocking on the other. It was both of those at the same time, if that makes any sense to you.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
So you mentioned, I saw your email. It said something about real estate or something. And then that picture, you were like wearing a tie. You didn't come off as like the tie wearing kind of guy. You said you were like a recluse.
Yeah, well, that was the only really successful quote unquote professional period of my life was about 8 or 9 years in the early 2000s. From about 2000 to 2009, I was sort of a little big shot in the real estate world, at least in the local Goldfish Bowl, if you understand what I'm saying. Like in Salinas, my partner and my company, my partner was Hispanic, and he and I formed a real estate company called Azteca Realty. And anyhow, we became one of the recognized, not a big player, but not a small one either. So maybe, I don't know, at least in the top 20, maybe the top 10 in the Salinas area. So it was.
And you're not doing that now?
No. A lot of stuff happened between then and now. And I think last time we might have touched on the subject of compartmentalization, like the psychological term.
I don't think we have, but I talk about that quite often.
Okay,
hold on. This is what I don't know who just sent me this, but I'm going to share it. Okay, in the emails here, and I'll read this to you guys. It says, all right, let's blow this up. Hi, Karen. Thank you for your email. Country attorney Conover is not available to speak on the Guthrie case. However, I can offer you a statement below if you would like to use it. Under some outcomes, the United States Attorney's Office may have a forthcoming prosecution. In some scenarios, the Pima County Attorney's Office may have a prosecution to pursue. Given the work we are doing day and night to prepare for that possible outcome, it is inappropriate for us to share any information about this investigation at this time. However, we do think your audience would appreciate being informed about the critical role our PCA 88 Crime Program plays in not only in the investigation of Guthrie case, but other cases affecting our community. As of this morning, 3,030 tips have come in on 88 Crime on the Guthrie matter. Not one penny of the reward money generated for 88 Crime comes from taxpayers. That funding is directly from public contributions. If you're interested in finding out more, go to this program. Remember, it only takes one tip to 88 Crime to sometimes break open a case. Many cases over the last 40 years were solved just this way. Pima County's Attorney's Office. Let me know if you need anything else. Thanks. Okay, so they say a future prosecution could come. All right. Now, of course, we know that if somebody's arrested, but do they have a suspect? Okay. Under the outcomes, the United States Attorney's Office may be forthcoming prosecution, may have a forthcoming prosecution. And does that mean they have somebody? Do they have somebody of interest? Or is that just, I don't know. All right, let's get back to the crazy guy. Crazy talk. Let's get back to crazy talk.
Well, I'm just gonna like throw it out there.
Just gave a large donation to Gibson Go. Helena, thank you. Thank you. Because that is how we travel, guys, with the Gibson Go. So if you make a donation to the Gibson Go, throw red stop signs in the chat, because that's how I go like back and forth to Arizona or any of these true crime cases that we cover. We're not a big, huge channel like some of these YouTubers out here. So we crowd fund and grind, and I've been working every day to put money into the travel fund. Oh, and I got my passport today. I got it. My head looked big as hell in the picture, but I got my passport so we can go into Mexico if we need to, right? And I can leave the Oh, and I got my passport today. I got it. My head looked big as hell in the picture, but I got my passport so we can go into Mexico if we need to, right? And I can leave the country. We are now officially international. But like I said, the Gibson Go is money for traveling, for plane tickets, hotels, stuff like that, for us to be able to bring you, true crime from the front line. So I appreciate anybody. Big hugs to you, Helena. Thank you so much for the donations and everything you do for the channel. You guys are absolutely awesome. By myself, I can't do much, but together, we are a damn army of turtles. Okay? Of turtles. Let's get back to the cipher.
Basically, for most of my life, the only way I survived and was able to have a few successes in my life, like I graduated from UC Davis, got my degree there in English, and
oh my God. What happened after that?
You must hate my emails. You must hate my emails then.
Oh no, you're fine. I think you're really well spoken, actually.
I'm illiterate.
No. To be honest. Oh no, I find you to be quite the contrary, actually, Patrick. You're well spoken, and you're a great listener. Like, I think you'd be a good therapist, to tell you the truth, because you're a therapist. Like last time, I was so nervous, and you let me talk a lot, and I appreciate that.
So you want to sit on my couch or what?
1,200. Thank you so much.
Hey, I've been with a lot worse therapists, believe it or not.
Lisa Joe.
That's hilarious. But before I forget to finish my thought there, I have a tendency to not finish sometimes. The only way I was able to, accomplish anything, like I was able to, just hunker down and pass my real estate broker's exam the first time, and was able to just grind and get things done and build a business from nothing into something that was pretty recognizable. The only way I was able to do any of that was to sort of block everything out and pretend like none of the trauma, or most of the trauma, that I had been.
What if he is the porch guy? I don't know. There's people do weird things. Maybe the person is crazy, because look, you got to be a little crazy to break in somebody's house in the middle of the night and kidnap somebody.
Through, especially in my childhood, had never happened. Well, that worked like pretty well for a long time, but I could always feel something boiling underneath. Like it was always there, if you understand what I'm saying. But sure. It was like that. I don't know. They have a term in psychology, like the elephant in the room. The elephant was there. I was just trying my best to ignore the dang thing for decades.
Thought you could ride it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was the best way I knew how to cope, and I was sort of the whole idea of therapy was taboo. Like, I just sort of, for a long time, I saw that as something that, like, quote unquote weak man would go to therapy, only later did I realize.
Okay, it's funny you say that, right, Madonna? Right? Because y'all remember that dude that called in and told me that he seen Sebastian Rogers. He said he was in a Walmart, and so many YouTubers brought this dude up, right? And they let him talk and talk and talk and talk, right? But he called into the show, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna give him a chance to talk. This guy isn't Hispanic, not porch perp. Right? We don't know 100 for a fact he's Hispanic. I think he's Hispanic, right? But this dude called in and said he knew who Sebastian Rogers. He had seen him in a Walmart in a neighboring county to Hendersonville. And at the time, I was just like, okay, let's let him talk. He said he called the police, but the police never called him back. So I was trying to get as much information as he can. And then after he said, he goes, and at one time, Jeffrey Dahmer tried to eat me. He invited me over for spaghetti. And I was like, right then, I was like, all right, bro, it's good talking to you. We're running out of time. It's like, listen, at that point, what more can we say? Right then the person's crazy. Okay, they're crazy. Like, do you entertain craziness? Like, it's good for like a few minutes, but for fucking, yeah, like I felt like I wasted my time listening to that guy. You remember that? Yeah, he was like, yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer invited me over to eat some spaghetti and shit. I was like, okay. So you seen Sebastian Rogers and Jeffrey Dahmer try to eat you. I ain't buying that.
As it takes a strong man to look at our weaknesses and to admit to ourselves we need some help, you know?
Yeah, acknowledge that you were a victim, not playing a victim because your whole life you've been trying not to play a victim, but instead acknowledging that you in fact are a real victim, and there's some trauma there that needs to be kind of taken care of. Yeah,
thank you. That's put in better words than I could put it, I think. I didn't know I was born into a lie. Like, hopefully this is not the last time we get to talk, Patrick, because I have so much I'd like to talk to you about. And I know that this is sort of like the vetting process, though. You want to see if I actually, have my act together. If I'm.
This is what this is an act. I'm glad he said that. I wonder if I have my act together. If you telling the truth is not an act, okay? All you have to do is get up here and tell the truth. Hey, this is my brother. It's not my brother. This is an act. This is what it is. It's like, I don't know. The dude is cuckoo. And I don't know why they have the cipher put up on the screen.
Just a nutcase, or if I'm delusional or what have you.
Both of those.
And I understand that there's going to be a vetting out process, but what I'm trying to say is I don't know how much time you have tonight, but getting into these ciphers, there's three that work together, going from 1969 to 1998 to this one here in 2019. And
does that have anything to do with the transition of the Church of Satan and the stuff you're talking about? What was it, Set?
Yeah. Actually, that's a big part of it. That's a huge part of it, but that's only one aspect of it. But if you can imagine, people have a hard time even imagining spending 12 or 15,000 hours trying to figure something out. These answers that I'm like, hopefully we'll get into it a little bit tonight, but each of the answers the positions that I'm sharing it with you, and like every little bit of the explanation that I'm going to give you for whichever cipher we discuss tonight, I imagine it's probably going to.
Let's speed this up a little bit, guys. This dude is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Let's speed him up a little bit, and he talks slow, so it's like, what did we get him at 2? Let's see. I don't want it too fast.
Be a lot of the Burger Chef cipher.
That's what I have on the.
Okay, that's way too fast. Okay, that's way too fast. All right, let's get them back down here somewhere. Just a little faster.
Screen right now, and I divided it 20 by 17.
Okay, well, I'm maybe in the future you might, if you have some time, if you could write it in those little squares, so it all maybe it aligns right now. I don't know. I can't really.
Yeah, I do have it aligned, and we can do that. I'm sure we can.
Yeah, the character alignment is the most critical part, because the way they set it up is another form of what's called obfuscation, and it's intended to fool the mind, so you're not able to make any sense out of it, because they're not in, like, a lot of the story is spelled out in columns from the top to the bottom, and other directions as well. But like with Nancy's story, it begins with that R at the 9 position on the upper column on the first row. The first row there. It seems like I was going to talk about something I didn't finish up a thought. Okay, I guess just the whole idea of compartmentalization.
Crazy.
Basically, all of that went out the window when I was attacked by this. He's like he was a bar brawler, and he grew up. He also grew up in a really violent home, but basically I was renting a room from this lady, and I should not have gotten romantically involved with her, but I did. And when I broke up with her, I tried to stay there for a while, and she was a.
As of now, Nancy has not been found. Nothing's been confirmed. There was a lot of speculation from what happened with Savannah today, because I see somebody said they just joined on the Today Show when she abruptly ended the interview during a commercial, and they came back and somebody finished the interview. So a lot of speculation was something big has just happened in the case, and people started spreading misinformation, putting out that there was going to be a news conference at 9 tonight, and that never took place. And of course, people called to Pima County to see if that was true, and Pima County said there's nothing scheduled for tonight or tomorrow morning. So at this point, Nancy Guthrie has not been found. A lot of the stuff that you're seeing on the internet is clickbait. There's even a thumbnail out here on YouTube that shows Nancy dead on the ground, but it's a picture of Nancy. You got to remember, Nancy's been missing for 2 months. She would be skeleton remains at this point. She would be bone. She wouldn't be recognizable to go, oh, well, that's Nancy. Okay, remember Brian, not Brian Cole, I'm about to say Brian Kohlberger, but Gabby Petito, Brian Laundrie. Okay, Brian Laundrie, he was bones in 2 weeks. They found his mandible bone, his jawbone. So in a matter of 2 weeks, he was a complete skeleton. He was completely gone. They found his spine and they found his jawbone within 2 weeks. So birds, insects, animals, they do their work pretty quick, believe it or not. So Nancy would be bones. Dolly, can you look up this guy's brother? I think, the thing about sharing his brother is this guy's crazy. Why even entertain that, right? Yeah, but I guess we can look up his brother, but I don't know why we would entertain that. I'm sure Mab, I have a wanted poster of him next week. I don't know. It's like I don't like to show people that, because then we're entertaining crazy. Right? We're entertaining crazy, and his brother, don't have anything to do with this.
A little short lady from Boston, and she had that Boston accent, and she says, it's war. and I don't think I smiled or laughed at her when she said that, maybe internally, but I think I was smart enough not to test it, but anyhow, long story short, she moved that guy in, and he is the brother of somebody that's well known in Monterey County because his brother is serving life for raping and murdering. I don't know, are we allowed to say raping in this?
We done said it now.
I don't want to. Okay, I don't want to say anything that's going to get you flagged or mess the video up. But
no, don't worry about it.
Okay. Anyhow, so there was a girl. I think she was only 12 or 13 years old from Marina, which is right nearby Monterey. Anyhow, the guy named Charles Holdings. Charles.
Okay, don't dox people. That's what I don't like is when people start naming people and then people are looking them up.
Brother has scars all over his face and loves to fight. And long story short, the lady waited until the last day. I was right in the middle of moving out, and she sent this guy after me down a narrow hallway. Well, because of I think in large part because of the location, the fear thing was triggered in me, and I didn't realize all this at the time, but it took me a couple of years to realize what happened. A lot of the things that were done to me, the physical and sexual abuse of my childhood was triggered when that man cornered me in the hallway of that. It was like an older house. I don't know if you know how a lot of the older houses have the lower ceilings and the narrow hallways.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so
it sounds like my grandma's old house.
Yeah, yeah, mine too. But I didn't realize what happened, and what happened was it was a quick fight. It was only about probably 10 to 25 seconds, and like probably all the people that said I'm a serial killer on here are going to enjoy hearing this, but I did what I had to do. He cornered me literally into the back, the end of the hallway, and I beat him to a pulp. I hammer fisted his face into the hardwood floor. That was back when I was it was 2009 or 10. But I was forced into doing what I had to do,
He hammer fisted his face into the hardwood floor. Okay. Oh God.
And
yeah, exactly.
and I'm so glad I didn't do worse damage. The day after, the police came out and they made him. By the way, the lady that sent him after me created a story right on the spot. I could barely speak because I was so triggered. She made a story. She made it out to be that I was the aggressor, and I ended up losing my whole livelihood. She went after my real estate license. I lost a lot from just that one incident. But what I didn't realize is I won the battle that night. I've won the fight. But what happened was,
so he deciphers the Zodiac killer's ciphers. His brother is the porch guy. He can beat up a bar brawler that's well known for fighting. This dude is like a hero, right? He's all over the board.
I don't want this to be the focus of our conversation, by the way, Patrick.
No,
but
let's air it out here.
Yeah, well, just really quickly, a lot of the things like really quickly came out of the compartments of my mind, and it I almost, well, I didn't get committed or anything like that, but I had an ongoing like type of mental breakdown that eventually led me to therapy, which is the part that I'm thankful for over all this, you know. But what I refused to really look at for the first 40 years of my life was how bad the first 11 years of my life were, and it was basically about as bad as it gets. I mean, I'm not saying, I don't like to compare my pain to other people's pain, but because that's really pointless, you know.
You can compare your pain to Jesus's pain. I've heard other people in this case do that. I ain't gonna mention no names, but you know.
But
yeah, every man thinks his burden is the heaviest.
Yeah, exactly. But as I've between age 40 and 55 now, I've had 14 years of therapy, and I think
you needed a little bit more than that. Okay, I think you needed just a little bit more therapy than you had.
Come to realize that very, very few people have had the things happen to me that I've had, and are still able to have half a brain cell left, you know.
Yeah, some of the things that you did tell us were quite amazing. And I'm sure that's why there's so many people here watching right now. There's a lot of. I know you don't want to be in the limelight, and it's all about this information. I'm actually almost done with the grid too.
Yeah, it's looking good.
He does want to be in the limelight. Why do you think he's making up these stories? Why do you think the man is making up the stories? Zodiac stuff is boring. I mean, the man clearly needs attention. He didn't get enough hugs as a baby, right? He must have dropped his binky on the floor. I don't know. I don't know what his illness is. I'm not a psychiatrist, right? But I know who he should be talking to. It's probably not a YouTuber, and he needs to be talking to a doctor, because this dude is a fucking loon. Okay, I hate to say it, but somebody does. Okay, because there's people right now on YouTube that are believing this, right? They're believing it, right? Because they're probably just as crazy as he is. It's a sad thing to say. There is a lot of people that just, I don't know what the hell they hit their head on. Okay. I just don't, they're like, yeah, he's right. This lady's in the lake. They're believing this guy. And they're posting it in the forums that, and they're like, oh my God, why entertain? Okay, if you walked into a crazy hospital and a crazy person told you something, would you take that as the truth? Right, when you start your stuff out with, I was fearing for my life, or the Zodiac killer is going to kill me, and it talks about Nancy in the ciphers. Okay, did the Zodiac killer, was that the Zodiac killer we seen on the front porch guy and the Zodiac killer? Is that the same person?
I'm really impressed. Thank you. By the way, I am more interested in keeping my life than the reward right now, Patrick, if that makes any sense to you. And
yeah, I mean, what are you up to now? I mean, like, if you're not doing real estate, like, what is it? How do you stay busy?
Well, these ciphers have kept me busy for the last 4 years, but
he rides around on the public transportation licking the windows. Okay, that's how he stays busy. He seems like a crayon eater. All right, this bitch ate lead paint as a kid. When he was in the realty, he was damn eating lead paint. I don't know what's wrong with him.
But honestly, I've been on disability. Ever since I was attacked, I've never been the same, and I don't want to come on.
I thought he won the fight. Remember, he said I was attacked. The lady got this dude to attack me. I ground and pounded his face into the hardwood floor. Now he's been on disability. Now, is he lying to us? He got ground and pounded into the hardwood floor? Because why is he on disability? He's never been the same since he was attacked, but yet he won the fight in 25 seconds? Make that make sense.
On here and try to pretend like I'm normal or everything is.
Oh, we know you ain't normal. It don't matter. We already, listen, we ain't psychiatrists, but we did stay at a Holiday Inn Express one time. You crazy as shit, bro.
Just fine and dandy with Rich, you know, because every day can be a struggle to get up and even get out of bed. And like my dog, you know, I talked a lot about my dog the other day, doing things for him. A lot of the days I'll get up and do things for him that like if he weren't here, I might just lay in bed and sort of rot, to be honest with you.
You got attacked by a stranger. No one gave you disability. Well, you didn't get your face pounded into the hardwood. Okay, I don't know. Maybe you did. And hopefully, whoever beat on you went to jail. Okay. And you didn't date a true crime YouTuber on these internet streets. All right.
So I don't know if any of this is making sense. I don't know.
No, it is. It sounds like you're dealing with your trauma, but dealing with it doesn't mean you get to go back to a normal life. You know, there's no going back once you have that realization.
Yeah. Thank you. I think you get a lot of it.
Like
it's just so hard to put it into words.
Naked at a park. Okay. I had to add a little bit to that. Okay. I had to add a little bit to that. Yeah, I can see this dude running around with his wang out, you know.
Words where other people that don't have this type of trauma can understand it. I guess it goes back to that saying, if you haven't walked a mile in somebody else's moccasins or whatever, you're not going to get it. And
you're here now.
And to be honest with you, I don't want to spend another hour or two trying to explain myself or also to come across like I'm normal. Like,
yeah, you do, because this video is like 5 hours long. Damn. You do want to spend that much time.
I swear to God, I'm not a serial killer. I'm not the type of person. I have a lot of empathy for better or for worse. I was seen as a target in my family of origin because I had something that they'll never have, which is empathy. So I don't know, but in the end, I'm glad that I have empathy because I'd rather be like that than be a reptilian like they are, you know?
Be a reptilian like they are. That's how far I made it before I said, let me cut this shit off. When he said his family was reptilian, I would have gave him a chance, right? Even with the Zodiac cipher, I was thinking, okay, loon, nutcase, oh, I can't take this shit no more. I got empathy. Unlike my family full of reptilians, all right, like that chased the Hellbot Comet. I was raised by Heaven's Gate, okay? Like, this dude needs attention, right? He wasn't breastfed as a baby. I don't know. This is what happens when you give your child a bottle, okay? And not the nip, all right? This is what happens when you feed your baby with a baby bottle. He didn't get the attention he needed, or he was a sweaty kid and he got a little slippery and you on his head, okay? I would ask him, is the back of your head flat? Okay, because something is definitely wrong with you, okay? Something's definitely wrong with you, bro. Now, if you paying me about an hour, what is a reptilian? A reptilian is an alien race sent from outer space that are lizard people. They're shapeshifters, and a lot of crazy people believe this is T-Rev's best friend. This is Smoke. Wasn't that the dude's name with T-Rev? Smoke? Reptilians are an alien race that look like lizards, and they shapeshift. A lot of people that are crazy as hell in the conspiracy world believe that the Queen of England and like all these people are reptilians that are running the country and running the world. They're a reptilian race that is amongst us, but they look like humans, but really they're lizards. Now, I know this is because I watch stuff like this for entertainment, okay? But I'm not crazy. Well, I'm the good kind of crazy. I'm not the bad kind of crazy, like mental crazy. So when I watch it, I'm like, oh, this is just entertainment. This is what some people believe, right? That don't mean I believe it. I just watch it, right? Like about UFOs and aliens and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people that really, truly believe that there's reptilians. And this dude is one of these people, apparently.
The ability to see in other people's, see what they might be going through their eyes.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, just to be able to, sometimes it goes too far. I feel other people's pain too much, but I don't know. As I get older, I'm trying to develop boundaries and.
That shit is bad. I've had a lot of people say bad shit about me. I've never heard one people go, you know what? I feel sorry for Lolo. I feel sorry for his dog. Damn, that's bad right there. You got to be like, listen, I'm calling the SPCA on this fool first thing tomorrow.
and stay in my own container a lot more than I would have in the past. But we do the best we can day to day, and
Nancy
to be honest
has
with you,
not been found.
ever since I
No.
was attacked, even though that was just a brief attack, it was a major turning point in my life, and weekly therapy has been a big part of my life. Like I said,
Have some compassion, please. Stop making fun of him. Did you listen to my intro to this video? What did it say? It said we discuss true crime mixed with a little bit of comedy. So don't take nothing as fact. Just my opinion, people. Okay. Now, if you're trying to say should we entertain his craziness? Should we take him serious? Do you believe him? Okay, if you batshit crazy, I'm gonna say you batshit crazy. All right? It ain't got nothing to do, listen, he needs a therapist. He don't need a YouTuber. Simple as that. Just facts. I know this. Everybody in the room knows this. He wanted some attention, and he's getting it. And he's just, happy as shit that he don't have to pay for it. Just facts.
For about 14 years now, and I've been trying to heal, to be honest with you. People don't, I don't know. A lot of people don't come back from this kind of trauma, Patrick, and even my therapist,
it ain't nobody in here want to marry this guy. Right? I know you're trolling. This is definitely a troll. Look at the thumbnail. So many women in here want to marry Richard. Nobody wants to marry Richard. Okay? Richard is loony. He's loony. He's more loony than the Looney Tunes. The dude is cuckoo for Cocoa Pebbles. All right? Way out there. I mean, space cadet in another universe.
Used to put it into numbers terms, and she said, you're well, sometimes she would say, you're one in a million. Most people would have either died or off themselves by now, and if they had not, they would be literally on the street, either drugged out or talking to themselves. So I don't know.
You're still speaking with this woman?
Yeah, we ended things mutually. Decided to end things a few weeks ago. So I'm in the process of looking for a new therapist, but and actually probably taking a little hiatus too, because literally I've gone for 12 straight years without. I'm the type of person that when I dive into it, I have OCD, and I cannot go in 50%. When I go in,
that is true. Crazy people don't know when they're cray, right? He may in his mind not know he's cuckoo for Cocoa Pebbles, right? But a normal person in a matter of minutes, oh my God, his therapist quit. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you quit too? Listen, how long could you do this? Right? I'd be like, yo, bro, listen, there ain't nothing. You got too many problems. Before you could help him with the whole, I've been spent 27,000 hours deciphering the Zodiac riddles, to my family's reptilians, my brother's a killer. I mean, where do you go as a therapist with this? Where do you take it? Because people always tell me, Dolly, you're so patient. You should have probably been a therapist or something like that. I think I'm too honest, right? I think I'm too honest to be a therapist. Because I'd be like, look, you fucking nuts. I'd just be like, sorry. Make sure you write the check out to Dolly Vision, and I'll see you next week, okay? Get your crazy ass up out my office.
And I go in 120%. And so in the last 12 years, I probably have missed less than 3 sessions. So I don't know. I'm not where I want to be.
So hopefully hopefully you're not trying to fill a void.
Oh no, I'm not.
Didn't Richard used to call in on here, Dolly? That was a different Richard. That was Richard and Ruby. Okay? Totally different person. Maybe just as crazy. I'm kidding, Richard. But different person. Totally different person. I look like I got some sun today. Yeah, I just noticed it. I got to work tomorrow too. I got to make that money. I just got my passport. I want to travel now.
No, I'm not trying to fill a void here. To tell you the truth, the reason I started posting those things online is I contacted the sheriff and wrote him a long letter, and also one of the probably the major reporter on the whole case. I sent him close to 100 pages of documentation, including close to 40 pages of diagrams for the Burger Chef cipher. And there's been no reply. And just
okay, what the Burger Chef cipher? Okay, from the Zodiac Killer. He sent him 40 pages. Can you imagine Nanu's? He's like, yeah, I gotta go to the gym. I'm gonna go jump in my Corvette. And he clicks on this damn thing, and there's 40 pages of Dolly. You should be acting in the next James Bond movie. You'd be good, Dolly Vision. Bond, Dolly Bond. Sounds like some glue. Go to your local hardware store, buy some Dolly Bond, or some. It sounds like something that would keep your dentures in. Okay. Can you imagine being Sheriff Nanu's? Listen, we know he ain't doing a good job. No wonder. He's reading 40 pages of a cipher trying to figure out if he should call this dude back. Dolly, you make fun of the mentally ill. I make fun of everybody. I make fun of people that ain't mentally ill. Is that wrong? If you're crazy and you bring yourself to the internet and you open yourself up to the world with some crazy ass story that you know is not true, what am I supposed to be like? Oh my God, this guy here, he needs a hug. Maybe I should hug him. I feel bad for him. Maybe I should buy his dog a can of food. No, get this idiot off the damn thing. Let him go see a doctor. You know, the whole, okay, maybe I do pick on people, but I pick on everybody. I'm an equal opportunist. I don't care if you're not crazy, if you're crazy, whatever. If you say something stupid, I'm going to joke on you. Simple as that. All right? Just like you.
Just the longer this goes on, I really am feeling like this is a cover-up. And also, the clock is ticking. I feel like the clock may be ticking on the time that there's a serious threat.
Listen, if it'll make you feel better, when I see him, I'll give him a hug. Okay? I'll be like, bring it in. Come on. I ain't gave y'all a group hug. I'm usually the hugger. Have you ever seen anybody else give a group hug on YouTube? Only Dolly does it. Come on in. It's been a while. You can bring Richard with you. Come on. Bring Richard. He needs it. Bring old Richard. Come on. Group hug. Oh, I'll rub you back. Everything's going to be all right now. Everything's going to be all right. You feel better? Anybody feel better? Does that make y'all feel better? It made me feel better. Was it good for you? Was it? Okay. Just hug yourself like this. You know, just hug yourself. Give it a little rub. You'll feel better in the morning. You'll feel better.
Threat against my life. And I wasn't going to mention this before, and especially I wasn't going to mention it in the live stream. I was going to try to figure out a way to talk.
Best comment of the night right there comes from Bridget. Richard should talk to Dr. Sue Ellen. Could you imagine how that conversation would go? That would be a good one. I'd pay to see that shit. Honestly, I would. That's good entertainment. That's good entertainment.
A few separately, but last week on the 8th of April at 6:01 and 6:02 p.m., I had just put up Ring cameras days before, and this very unusual gentleman came up the stairs twice in the span of 2 minutes, and I wish the video quality was better. But I highly suspect that was my brother, the same person that's seen on Nancy's porch. He only came up the stairs halfway the first time. Yeah, he only came up the stairs halfway.
Now you got a bald spot. No, dang it, Dolly, you pulled my hair. What you get?
Way on the first time, and then the second time he came up to the third to the last step. I think he saw the little blue light go on, and then quickly turned around and went back down the stairs. But
you said
I'm not sure. The 8th, yeah. And ironically, on the 8th, there was a woman that was murdered in Big Sur near.
Says this YouTuber is the next T-Rev. You know what happened to T-Rev? He tried to be Dolly at home, and I warned people, don't try to be Dolly at home. What's up, Mab? Good to see you're late. Okay? I want to know where you was at. You better have Ms. Mab write you a tardy note. Okay? The next T-Rev. Nah, I think this dude's a little bit better YouTuber than T-Rev, okay? And I don't know if he's making this up or if he had this guy call in, but the guy is, of course, this is nothing to this. And there's people that's going to believe every bit of this. They're going to believe it. They're going to eat it up. They're going to swear to little baby Jesus that this lady's in this river and this is his brother is the thing, and it's crazy. It's like that lady that was in the Idaho 4 case. Y'all remember the mom that was like, my son said this and they knew this, and next thing you know, she's doing a world tour of YouTube channels like Motley Crue. Like, we're gonna make our rounds. Everybody does it. Like, this dude would be on 37 more channels. Shit, we might have him up here. I'll be talking to him. Damn, man, that shit, that's crazy, right? Like, you seen him shapeshift? I'll go full damn coast to coast on him, right? Art Bell. I'll go straight Art Bell. I mean, I can't believe it.
Hot Springs, what's it called? It's on the Pine Ridge Trail, and you have to understand, in all of the ciphers, these letters are what is called, there's a term called polysemous.
Tomorrow night, Richard, here live. Y'all tune in for it, okay? We're going to have him on. We're going to discuss Bigfoot and El Chupacabras.
And polysemous means when one thing can represent many different things. And like
now, I'm a life coach. If he needs a session, just tell him to send me 3 payments of $99.99, and I got you. Okay. Well, he needs some Dolly soap in his mouth.
The RP at the top of this the cipher in column 9.
We ain't gonna make it that far.
I believe represents Pine Ridge Trail, and then it pairs with the TR down below in the same column. If you go further down, there's a T and an R. I don't know if this is a line. Let me see if.
Yeah, because I have to work tomorrow. I started my own business, and things have been picking up, and I've been taking all the money and I'm putting it in my travel fund. So the day was busy, and it's been getting busier. So I'm going to work tomorrow, but I kind of make my own schedule. So I go in about noon, and I've been leaving about 7, and then I go eat, and I come here and stream with you guys till about 2 in the morning, and then I've been repeating the process. Okay, so I got to make that summertime money while I can. So, and I haven't worked in a while, but I'm working on, I ain't working for somebody, I'm working for myself. So, and I've been just mobile detailing. So where I'll come to you and detail your car real nice and charge you a fortune. And I got a little location that I sit at, and I just basically wash cars. So, but it's on my time. Tomorrow I'm taking my laptop with me, so y'all will get a live stream, because it's slow in the morning. And then in the afternoon time, it's like one car after another car after another car. I had a line of cars today. I looked at it, I was like, oh shit. I was like, I'm not used to working that hard. I'm a lazy ass YouTuber. So I've been grinding this whole week, and I got a long day tomorrow. So I'm not going to be here to make it through this whole damn interview. I can tell you that.
If this is aligned correctly, I have my sheet here. Yeah,
I removed all the spaces.
Ma'am, did you just ask that I have a bikini? No, ma'am, I don't have a bikini. But what I am getting made is custom Dolly car fresheners, okay? For like when I detail your car, I'm going to put a Dolly Vision car freshener in your car, all right? True. I looked it up. You can get them I think they're like $1.50 a piece. So I just throw that into the bill. And then every one I have a Dolly Vision air freshener in it that I detail when I detail the cars. Little Dolly touch.
Okay, so it should be according to my sheet. The last letters read the TRBI, and yours are a little different. Let me see. I could be wrong too.
They got 1,000 of them for $100 on Etsy. Well, so it said, but I got to look, the detail. But and I have them on the merch store, so you can get one for your car, a Dolly air freshener. Coming soon.
But let's see, hot. Let's see, KAH. Yeah, something isn't lining up with your sheet, Patrick.
Turtle Island is at the end of this month. It will start in the beginning of May.
All right, let's try this.
You need one for your toilet. Speedos and sunglasses.
So we know that they're lined up perfectly here, but they're just not.
Well, they're intentionally offset. Yeah, that's intentional. They're intentionally offset. Each line does contain 17 left.
I mean, I'm giving them away, Mr. Rooster 619. Right? I'm gonna give them away. Well, maybe not on my site, but when I do the cars, I'm gonna like, here you go. There's an air freshener.
Right, and the columns, all of them are 20 from top to bottom, but they're just shifted. They're shifted in various directions to confuse the eye and thereby the brain. You know.
Maybe you can explain it to us.
No, Slew.
No. Well, I mean, this is another form of what's called obfuscation, which is, like I said, it's meant to confuse and to make it to where nobody will be able to figure out what is hidden in plain sight. And one thing that I could compare it to would be like the quote unquote ransom letters that are being sent or have been sent from the very beginning. All of that is it's only sent. Well, it's sent for various reasons, but one of them is to serve as a red herring. It's just to confuse and to misdirect and redirect. Like in the military, they have campaigns of misinformation. I think it's called misinformation and disinformation. No, people always.
This is what we call what you're doing right now is misinformation. He'll be next Jody Sue 2.0. Oh my God, right? He'll have a YouTube channel next week. He'll start one next week. I guarantee you by next week this dude have a YouTube channel. Are the air fresheners going to be turtles? No. No. Probably not. Probably not. It's going to be something cool. If I'm going to put it in your car, I want it to be cool, right? It'll probably be my logo, my detailing logo of the rainbow colored car with the, it'll probably be something like that. It's probably going to be my logo. For mobile detailing, because I'm putting them in people's cars that I'm cleaning, right? Just a little advertisement. It'll have my number, so just in case they want another car cleaning, they know how to get a hold of me. So it'll be something like that, But I seen tonight that they made custom ones, and I was like, ooh, I like custom stuff, and so I'm gonna order some, and I'll have them on the site if you want some Dolly air fresheners.
I always think that though, especially when you can sort without even me telling anybody that I have PTSD. It's something I usually can't hide, to be honest with you, Patrick.
Hey, Dolly, knock. Who's there? Okay, who's there? You got me with the knock. All right, who's there? Now I gotta wait for this. All right, this shit better be a good knock joke. All right, it better be epic. What does that say? I knew who? Is that what that says? Okay. What's the punchline?
And then if I say that I'm on disability, they automatically assume that I was in the military, But
no,
it's a really common question I get.
So basically, you have a lot in common with people that have been to war.
My life has been war, to be honest with you, Patrick. And there's still a part of me that they haven't been able to kill. The part that's, can I swear on here?
Yeah, speak your mind.
Well, it's just a part that says, like, fuck you. You can fucking torture me. You can do whatever you want. If I go out, if they do get a hold of me and torture me and kill me that way, one thing they are never going to be able to take away from me is my belief in God, okay? They can, they love torturing people and rape.
Okay, this guy is Richard Nolette. Is that how you say it? His name? Porch Guy is my brother. Okay? This is a guy claiming that Porch Guy is his brother, which is not his brother. This is a guy that's cuckoo for Cocoa Puff, and he needed some attention, and he came up to YouTube, and I guess he got the attention he wanted. It's silly, right? Because does this do anything to really help find Nancy? Now, listen, I entertain crazy phone calls all the time, so I'm not mad at the YouTuber who's doing it, of course, right? But it's just the fact that, when you do things like this, believe it or not, people believe it. I just heard that earlier. Sorry. You're fine. You're fine. I'm just picking with you. I'm surprised I even seen it. I only see a few, I don't see everything in the chat. This guy lives 2 to 30 minutes from me. Okay, man, if I lock my doors, Miss Bad might come up missing. This dude is out there. Bad. So, yeah, I wouldn't go entertaining this, right? It's like, dude talking has a channel. Oh, he has a channel? Oh my God. Well, maybe he's trying to get attention for his channel, sharing crazy stories. I don't know. I have some docs on this guy. I bet you do, man. I bet you do. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's what I'm saying. Is people are going to entertain this, right? They're going to believe it. Some people will believe what this man is saying. And does that help Nancy's case any? Or does it just turn YouTube into a circus? Right? Think about this. YouTubers already get a bad rap. Right? Look at Dolly. I go out there, I'm nice to people. Damn Inside Edition puts me right on TV. Says mean things about me. Because they don't take us YouTubers serious. Because at some point you got to go, hey man, you may want to see a doctor. I know your psychiatrist quit, but you may need to go back because you're tripping. You're tripping, Holmes. Okay? Sometimes being honest with people is the best for their health and because what he's talking about is the military spread misinformation. What he's doing right now is spreading misinformation. He's spreading lies. In his mind, he may be telling the truth. He may believe these things in his mind. But you, as a real person, you would have to go say, hey, man, listen, I think you may be a little sick. Listen, there's nothing wrong with getting help for your mental health because something's going on up there that's not completely right. So, I mean, at some point, you got to be real with the guy, right? Or he's just going to keep doing this. It'll be like he'll go to every YouTuber and he'll continue to do these things until somebody's real with him. Thank you, Melissa.
Hi, miss you, Dolly and PJ and Turtle Gang. I have been struggling with my special needs adult child, mentally and medically challenged. Love you guys. We could use some prayers. Heart suit emoji. Love you all.
Well, prayers for you guys. Prayers for you. And I hope everything works out with you and your kid. Sometimes that can be a challenge. Sometimes that can be a challenge, but God puts you in these positions for certain reasons, and he ain't going to put nothing on you can't carry. Life sometimes throws some crazy curveballs at you. So thank you for jumping on the Blessed Express with us, and we're glad you're here tonight. I know everybody can't be here with me every night. That's perfectly fine. Just every now and then, stop in and check on me. You know what I'm saying? Make sure I ain't lost my damn mind and went crazy. The internet is a wild place. You can go down some crazy rabbit holes and I think some of these people, I had a nephew, okay, totally bad shit. Okay, I mean, crazy as you can completely get aloe, right? And he kept telling me about some Star Trooper galaxy, what was it? I'll remember it in a minute. But it was these aliens that were intergalactic federation, the intergalactic federation of these aliens that are watching over the Earth, and they were going to send a spaceship to get them, right? And I was like, well, when did they send the spaceship to get you? And he's crazy, right? And he's like, he gives a date. I said, okay, now listen, if they don't come get you by this date that you said, you gonna shut up about these aliens coming to get you, right? And he's like, yeah. But he also thought he was an angel at one point and all kinds of weird shit, right? Because, mental health is a serious thing. And, I don't know if y'all have any people in your family that has mental health problems, but in my family, there's a bunch of people that got mental health problems. Thank God I don't. Okay. Well, like I'm a little crazy, but not that type of crazy, not mentally ill crazy. And, so I've been around some really, really crazy people that say really bizarre, I mean, just bizarre things, like unbelievable shit, like even crazier than this guy, way crazier. And so, of course, the aliens never showed up. And then I was like, are you going to shut up about the aliens now? And he was like, well, they rescheduled the date. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't fix crazy, right? And here's the thing about crazy people. Sometimes they're not crazy. They can be normal. And then when their meds are not right, they start to, like my nephew. He can be somewhat normal, not completely normal, because he's never normal. But he ain't as bad. Like, he's not psychotic or flipped out. But then sometimes that switch turns on and he is walking around in circles and just staring at shit that ain't there. I mean, just crazy, like unexplainable stuff, right? Because he has mental illness. And so I turn on YouTube and I'm just going down some rabbit hole one night and of course, here is videos on the Intergalactic Federation of aliens that are watching the Earth. I'm thinking, YouTube is making crazy people more crazy. Because if you're not mentally stable and you got people telling you that aliens are coming to get you, right? This is the same way cults are formed. Usually behind religious beliefs, they get you to they make you believe something, and then they start indoctrinating you into that belief system, and then next thing you know, you think aliens are coming for you, and you're chasing the Hellbot fucking comet, right? For a normal person, I would go, okay, this is crazy, entertainment, aliens, blah blah blah. That's how I look at it, because my mind is solid, right? I'm not crazy. But you take a person that is easily to influence or easy to manipulate, and then you start feeding them the Galactic Foundation, you know what I'm saying? And then they start to believe it. So somebody that's already going through psychosis, now they're going through something they believe to be real in their mind, and everybody knows it's not real, normal people, right? But I think a lot of this stuff, that when people start talking about reptilians, if you was a normal person, you go, man, that's bullshit, right? That's just people making clickbait, videos, entertainment. But if you're not well and your mind ain't strong, you might think the Queen of England is a fucking lizard, okay? Just, that's how it happens. So when you start spreading misinformation, normal people would be like, hey, he's nuts, right? It's just crazy. But, it's funny. Let's listen to it. But if you're not well and your mind is not strong, you may believe what this dude is saying, right? You may actually believe it. Just watch their necks. You be quiet. You be quiet. You ain't helping. You ain't helping right now.
Raping people, Patrick, and I'm just saying, like, I went through all that as a child, and if that's the way I go out, I'm not saying I want to. I'd love to live the rest of my life having like a dog rescue and growing giant pumpkins. Those are a couple of my loves, But
growing giant pumpkins, I've heard it all now. I love dogs and growing giant. Can you imagine him on a dating game? What are your interests? Well, I like dogs and giant pumpkins. Put that on your Plenty of Fish and see how many dates you get, okay? Giant fucking pumpkins. It's a great pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
I don't know. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and I don't know. In a way, my childhood has prepared me for the end, if that's what's going to happen. My sincere hope from talking to you, and like hopefully we'll be able to do this.
How much of your fan base is conspiracy theorists? Yeah, that's a hard question. Like all conspiracies ain't conspiracy. Some of it is truth. So how many of my viewers are based in truth? I don't know. Some things are conspiracy, but not everything is conspiracy. There's some conspiracies I believe. Now, I ain't out chasing the hell by comet, and I ain't going to go jump off a bridge, and I ain't joining the Church of Latter-day Saints anytime soon. I'm not into Scientology hanging out with Tom Cruise, so I ain't jumping on Oprah's couch. All right, I'm just saying. I mean, you got to have some type of. I didn't drink the Kool-Aid. Okay, let's say that I didn't drink the Kool-Aid. I don't know how many people are in a conspiracy, but it ain't nothing wrong with being into conspiracy if you have something to base off of facts. When and if you're normal and you're into conspiracy, you're looking for answers into something, right? We got what? We got 765 likes and 1.3 people in this. What? Y'all did me that dirty? Tina G, you see how dirty they did me, Tina G? 765 likes and 1.3K in the chat for the last 2.5 hours, and we ain't hit 1,000. How y'all gonna do me like that? How y'all gonna? That's it. I'm gonna go chase the Hellbot comment. Right? I can make videos right now about a comment's coming, and we're gonna catch it, and I guarantee it we get 1,000 likes. Maybe not.
This again, it really takes many times to go through these ciphers and to link everything together.
Somebody's sending me a corrected version here. Let me put this up while you speak. And maybe
Dolly is the new Dr. Phil.
This might be the correct way to do it. Sorry, I was using AI, so they may have missed some of the letters.
Yeah, well, that's okay, Patrick. I know you're trying your best.
You see 930? Okay, you got better eyes than Tina G then. All right, but let's hit 1,000, then I'll shut up. All right.
Thank you for trying. But before I forget to finish that thought, my real hope in sharing all this with you is to find some police protection, I really distrust most police officers, but if I could find one police officer or former police officer that I can get some sort of like witness protection, that's what I'm more interested in than even the reward at this point, So,
you are literally fearing for your life.
Yeah, exactly. And I have a situation where I've never been late on my rent here for 73 times. I have not been late one day on my rent. I can't say I pay all my bills on time, but I pay all my important bills, the rent, the PG&E, everything. I've kept the ship running in spite of all my issues for 72 months now. And I do thank my dog, and I thank God for that, because I don't know. My dog keeps me going, if that makes any sense to you.
Okay, that's it. That's all I can take. That's all I can take. I got to thank my dog for me paying my bills on time, because my dog barks when my bills are getting ready to get late. Like, listen, pay your insurance before they cancel it. Arf, 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 right? That's about all I can do. Plus, like I said, I got to work in the morning. I mean, I don't got to. I could really sleep all day if I wanted to, but I'm going to get up and go try to put some money into the traveling fund. So I can't stay here with you guys all night. But I am going to take my laptop with me tomorrow. I got to hook up my hotspot box, because I usually only have it hooked up when I'm traveling, so I ain't got to pay the bill, because I try to save money on everything I can. And that hotspot box is $50 a month. So I'm going to hook that up tomorrow so I can stream from there when everything's slow, because it's usually slow in the morning. I don't even know why I go. It don't pick up to the evening time, but I usually go, set all my stuff up, get ready. Then as it gets later in the afternoon, I start to detail cars and stuff. But so that gives me time in the morning if I'm up early. But I've been going in about 11:30, 12 o'clock. So it gives me a little bit of sleep. So most likely I will stream from there tomorrow. Toodles Dolly. Witness protection. He better be calling media. Now, if he really knew, right, who did this, he wouldn't have to worry about his dog reminding him to pay his rent. He could buy a house with $1.2 million and he could pay his psychiatrist. I would definitely, if I was him, call the FBI. Now, let me tell you this. You call the FBI and you start saying a bunch of crazy shit, they may come and arrest you for wasting their time. Or they may think it's a prank call and then still show up. Right? So he better be careful what he's saying before he gets himself in trouble with his weird stuff, right? And hopefully, all joking this guy aside, because I remember the person said, Dolly, you're mean to people with mental health. On the real, I hope he gets some help. Okay, all joking aside, I do. Mental health is a serious thing in our country, and it's not really been taken that seriously. Usually, when they get people that are sick, because like I said, I have a bunch of family members that are fucking not right, and it's always they put them in a hospital for a little while. They'll get them on some medicine. They'll be good for a little bit, like not walking around in circles thinking UFOs are coming, and then boom, they're back to thinking Satan's talking to me, right? Like, I see dead people. Just the weirdest shit you can, like the shirt, Dolly. Can you read the shirt? Can y'all see what it says? Can you see what the shirt says? I can't believe y'all can read it. It's black on black. It says, Jesus loves you. Okay? Jesus loves you. Is what it says. And that is true. Each and every one of you. And like I said, Jesus even loves this nutball, but he does need some help. Okay, he needs some help, and hopefully he gets it. And there's two things we don't take super serious in our country. We need to do better at. That's drug addiction and mental health. I think the world would be so much a better place if we would address those two issues. And homelessness. But until you address addiction, mental illness, it's hard to fix the homelessness. So I think all three of those things need to be taken way more important in our country. And we're sending all this money to other countries and all these things, and we're not even helping our own people. So, I know he's crazy. He's crazy, but let's hope and pray that he gets some help and that there's some answers for Nancy tonight. Another day has passed with nothing. I joke and play, but my passion is truly about justice for these missing people. I just do it in a silly way. So, guys, y'all been awesome. Also, I'm running a half off sale, well, PJ is, on all Dolly soaps, okay, while supplies last. The promo code is Dolly, all capital, DOLLY, Dragon, all capitals. So it's Dolly space Dragon, like, a dragon, knights and dragons. So Dolly Dragon, and everything is half off at buydollysoap.com. Say it with me, buydollysoap.com. The best soap you will ever use. I don't just clean cars. I clean cracks and flaps on people too. So get you some soap and check out the merch store. Everything. This is the cheapest you will ever get it. Half off while supplies last. Okay? And I'll see you guys around. Let's shoot for like 11. No, let's go for 12 o'clock. 12 to 1, somewhere around there. I'll see you guys then. All right? Thanks for being here with me. You guys rock. Don't listen to crazy people.
and FBI, whatever, took them.
Right. Let's welcome in Dustin. Dustin just walked in. I'll let you still finish your statement, Chris. I just wanted.
Give it a percentage. I'm 90%. This was a setup, and then the rest is there's a possibility that this actually happened. But why did it happen? I don't think it had to do anything with Clinton and this guy working for Clinton, and I don't think it had anything to do with files that. When's the last time you heard anything about these files now?
I agree. Now, if we had something like the scientist, on the other hand, that I got to be honest with you, that stuff's freaking me out. We're up to the 10th person missing, and maybe the 11th by now. I mean, that stuff is freaking me out. But we're not seeing. This is something different than that. That's But if we saw something like that here, then maybe, but we're not.
No, I mean. There's going to be nobody left with those files after another couple of months. I mean, all these people are just like, oh, he accidentally died. This one accidentally fell off a roof. This one accidentally took. Come on, I mean,
this one fell on a knife right through the heart. We don't know how it happened, but just fell right there. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and then this one, there's this poor 84-year-old lady just missing.
Yeah,
come on. And then I'm sorry, but look at on the first night, how in the hell can you how can you tell me that there's an 84-year-old woman missing on the first night? Don't forget I said that. And there just so happened to be an 84-year-old lady that was life flighted from what's the little city?
I know. We forgot about that. Yes.
How? Come on now, please.
That was really weird. Let's bring in Jeremiah. Jeremiah, hopefully you've got your sound working for you. I know you were struggling. I saw that you seemed like you were getting all that stuff situated as you were coming in here. Can you speak? You might have to go back out and come back in, but are you doing all right? Did
Yes.
you get in?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Jeremiah?
I think it might be froze.
Yeah, I think you.
Hello? 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 What? Hello? 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 Why is this not working? Oh. Hello?